And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you guys for joining live on the Instagram. I appreciate y'all for that. If you're watching me on the YouTube replay, thank you for joining as well. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Come one, come all. Come on in here. Let's get things cracking, rocking and rolling. There is a whole lot happening right now. Of course, we got Thomas Massie. He lost. RIP to his career. He sucks. RIP to Thomas Massie. Not literally, but figuratively. He lost his GOP primary against the Navy SEAL and Kentucky farmer Ed Galrain. Thomas Massie's whole campaign was the Jews did it, Israel did it, blah, 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 getting in the way of Trump's administration, getting in the way of the GOP in general. It's like, what are you even there for? What is your purpose, Mr. Thomas Massie? Why do we have you here if you're just going to get in the way? Oh, my bad. You want some money? Is that it? A little insider trading? Or you trying to have sex with congresswomen like Lauren Boebert? Talking about she the hottest in Congress. Allegedly. We don't got time for the frat boy activities, for just the interrupting, getting in the way, being subversive. It's time for you to go ahead and hit the bricks. So I wanted to say that off the rip, but I'm going to respond to some of you guys commenting. Thank you guys for joining. Yeah, goodbye, Massie. That's right, Miss Fine Fine. Hey, goodbye, Massie. You got to get on up out of here immediately. Lindsay says, love that hat. What up, ABL? Thank you for joining. Thank you for the compliment as well. Sugarloaf says, hey, ABL, regards from New York. Shout out to New York. Lord Byron from California. Shout out to you. I appreciate you for rocking on in. Jameson, what's going on? Thank you for joining. Salid says, King ABL, as always, support from Sydney, Australia. Shout out to Australia. Shout out to the land down under. Shout out to Oz. All right. Southern Hemisphere in the building. Let me see. Gabum says, APEC made sure he didn't win. Most expensive house race in history. Boomers need to leave this planet already. Oh, okay. They go to APEC stuff. Anytime I hear anybody talk about APEC, complaining about APEC, the Jews, I just roll my eyes. Because there's always people that lose that do stuff like that. It's always people that lose. It's like, where are the winners that talk like that? I don't see any winners that talk like that. And why is APEC a bad thing? I don't even know that much about APEC. I know that they are linked to the Jays. They're a lobbying committee, but why are they bad though? Tell me why. Break it down like I'm 5 years old. And is he not sponsored by anybody? Does he not get any money? Does the IRGC not have a foot in his, a little bit of hand in his pocket? Because like Tucker Carlson will say, the Jews this, the Jews that. Meanwhile, he gets a big bag from Qatar. So I don't understand. I don't really get it. And the Qataris are allied with the USA, and the Qataris are allied with Israel in a roundabout way because they're allied with us. If we are allied with Israel and the Qataris and the Saudis and all those oil rich nations right there are allied with us, what does that make them? Yeah, Tucker gets a big bag from the Qataris. It's misdirection at best. And for what purpose? I don't know. I don't really understand. But your own book, if you're a Christian, your own book says that the Jews will be hated. It says that. It says it right there in the book. So I guess this prophecy coming to pass, right? But anyway, let's keep on going. Charbert says your shrimp meal look delicious. Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay. I could do so many things. I love to go back to my restaurant days, get back in the line section, do a little bit of line cooking. But I saw a funny video where it's these guys that do parody of, okay, you have a new job. Why'd you get this job? And then the guys are like, I want to be a line cook to support my family and do drugs. And everybody had a similar thing where they're talking about they want to do drugs. So maybe I don't fit into the line cook culture because I don't smoke fentanyl or nothing like that. But I would love to do that for a little while, at least. Maybe in like a high end spot, be a line cook for a while. I could definitely do it. Shout out to the line cooks out there. Salih says, ABL, big respects to you because you always try to give an unbiased, objective view on things, always have. Bless up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's been my objective, is to be honest, be fair, be reasonable, and just call things how I see it. You know, without the bias, just call things how I see it. So thank you for recognizing that. I appreciate you. Miss Fine says the shrimp meal did look yummy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I might have to post some more of those on the Uncle ABL channel, because I cook pretty much. I say at least 5 days a week. I make myself go out like twice a week. But beyond that, I cook at home. So I cook a lot. That was just something random. I went to Costco. Let me show you what I got from Costco. Hold on, my little, not a big Costco haul, but a small Costco haul. So I had some of these shrimp, right? You see? There's quite a few shrimp in here. I ate on it yesterday and then today for my meal. So I got quite a few left. But I was like, you know what? Why don't I just make something like a real dish? I could just eat these shrimp individually with a little sauce, or I can make a dish. So what I decided to do was get some green onion, some mushrooms. Hold on, I still got some of the mushrooms in here. You know what I mean? Bell pepper, some mushrooms. Just chop that up, throw that in the pan. Avocado oil. What else I have? The bell pepper, the mushrooms, the green onion, some rice, some brown rice for the base. Throw the shrimp on top. You know what I mean? Get a little bit of, and I have a wok. Hold on. Where my wok at? Well, I had a wok. I don't know where it's at now. Well, here you go. Yeah. Here go my wok. I could have used a wok, but I didn't use the wok. I just used like a regular pan. But with the wok, you can really, you know what I mean? I've cooked some big stir fries in this before, where it took up the whole thing. You know, if you cook for more than one person, you cook it for a long time, meal prep, this would be really good for that. So yeah, if I want to cook all that shrimp and a bunch of mushrooms and whatnot, I throw it right in this big wok right here. But today, all I use is a pan. Sorry for the noise. RIP to the headphone users. What's going on, Teddy from Japan? Shout out to Japan. Shout out. Varmint says, AB, hope I didn't miss much. Nah, I'm just getting started, Varmint. So you're right on time. Salih says, thoughts on Drake dropping 3 albums at once? That's a great question, because I want to talk about stuff like this a little bit more. So Drake, let's talk about Drake for a minute. I know this might be, you know, but y'all cool. You guys are cool. This crowd right here, y'all just let me talk, and y'all don't really, you know what I mean, object too much. So with Drake, the music industry, in my humble opinion, colluded against Drake in 2024 with the whole Kendrick Lamar kerfuffle. They're not like us, all of that. That was a way to try and get Drake out the way, because Drake has been dominating rap music for the past 20 years. I mean, think about it. I remember when Drake first came out, when he was first launching, he had a song with Trey Songz called Replacement Girl, if I'm not mistaken, because really, me being from Virginia, you know, 2 up, 2 down, me being from Virginia, that's where Drake first got introduced to the music industry, in my humble opinion. They talk about Jay Prince and Lil Wayne and all of that, but really he was in Virginia. He had a mixtape with Nicholas F. Then he was on a song with Trey Songz. Did he have a song with Chris Brown? I don't know, but Trey Songz from Petersburg is right there. Nicholas F. from Richmond, which is right down the road. Okay, you do your mixtape with Nicholas F. Trey might come through the studio from Petersburg, about an hour away. You might go to where he's at, and y'all probably would end up coming to Virginia Beach. And that's where you get all the heavy hitters. That's where you get the Clips. That's where you get the Neptunes. That's why he kept talking about get his legacy out of my house, talking about Pharrell's chains. But anyway, my point is, I remember him from way back then when I was real young, when I was like in my mid to early 20s, when Drake first came out. And from the beginning, he was a star. Degrassi, all of that, he was a star then too. What's going on, Craig? Craig, no, shout out to Craig Long, you know, from Virginia as well. My Virginia brother, shout out to Craig. All right. But you know, Drake was out there during that time, like 05, 06, 07, and then he just skyrocketed, superstardom. Every year, Drake has been dominating rap. It's to the point where no other rappers are really relevant unless you are Drake or you do a song with Drake. Rick Ross did a verses recently, you know, where they just, okay, I'm a rapper, I'm a singer, whatever. Here's my hit songs. Here's my hit songs, and we perform in a battle way. Battle performing your hits. Most of the songs that Rick Ross had, and probably French Montana, but definitely Rick Ross had Drake in it. Aston Martin music, all of that. It's a Drake song. Some of the best songs that artists have are featuring Drake. Sicko Mode with Travis Scott is a Drake song. My Dog Will Probably Do It for Louis Belt. Y'all know the rest. That's a Drake song. It's to the point where there are versions of it where people play in the club that only have Drake on it with no Travis Scott. So Drake is the equivalent of Michael Jackson in the music industry. Seriously. That's how important he is. So when they colluded against him in 2024 with Kendrick Lamar and Not Like Us, it was a way to try and make him step aside to have the other artists come forward, like communism. You want to kill the wealthy to give to the poor. But the problem is, who else could be Drake? Who else could do what he is doing? Who else could ascend to that level of stardom? Who else? But Kendrick Lamar? Kendrick Lamar is not a good rapper. Kendrick Lamar makes boring music. He might have 5 songs, maybe at most, that I like, and it's not even that many. I'm just being nice and being generous and being fair. But nobody else is going to be able to take the mantle. I mean, Future can do what he does, but it's not Drake. His range is not Drake. Drake makes music for everything. He makes the club music, the boots and pants. He can sing. He'll do that. Drake has iconic roles from just his singing. So when he came back, it's undeniable. Now we got 3 albums and they all have different feels. You're going to have some of the albums be played in the club. Some are going to be played in the car. Some are going to be played in the department store, like elevator music. That's what he can do. So really, I like what he did. I think that it's great to show how an artist or a creator of any sort, even a content creator, if you're watching me and you want to do videos, you could take a page out of his book and just really, really make good original content, good original art, good original music. That's going to always succeed. But when you're trying to emulate somebody else, when you're trying to copy them, when you're trying to just take from what they got rather than doing your own thing, you're not really going to. Quality is always going to be the king, in my humble opinion. That's how I look at it. So yeah, shout out to Drake for coming back. Your music is great, bro. Your music is great. And it don't matter what they try to do. All these little rap songs, all these little funny games with the record label, they can't stop you. They can't stop you. So shout out to him. Lord. Craig says the whip cost me $500K, but the P cost me 100. Hey, hey, Craig, you're a funny guy. Yeah, but Plaza's a funny dude. You know, with that whole situation, people just don't understand. I think that a lot of people, a lot of men are gay, and a lot of women see men through the lens of their gay friend. They don't understand what a heterosexual male is and what we need and what we desire. They have no idea. And they really, quite frankly, don't even care. So then when something happened, they just want to point fingers and start laughing rather than being understanding. So this is why men don't really open ourselves up, because who wants to listen? And when we do open up, it's like, okay, what you going to do? Call the police on me? You going to put a red flag on me? Nah, I'm going to just suffer in silence and figure it out on my own, or just, try to do something without having to alert the whole public of what I'm doing. I'm going to just figure it out. I've been able to figure it out. A lot of us have figured it out. And a lot of times what you learn is just by trial and error. Salid says Drake let other rappers have a shot at making some hits, but none of them came to the table. Nobody came to the table. And how y'all say, what's the new thing now? Where's the stuff? And then what the girls are saying, where's the stuff? Okay. Where's the stuff? Where's the materials you promised me? But anyway, but for real, where's the stuff? Where's the hit records? Where's all that you think, you think Drake is the reason why you can't succeed, but okay, now he's gone. Now what you gonna do? Okay. If he's gonna give you the ball, what you gonna do with it? Okay. It's like the whole Jay argument, because Drake is also Jewish, if you didn't know. Okay. If you could just get the Jews out the way, then I'll succeed. Okay. But how are you going to succeed though? What are you going to do? You can't just say we're going to get the Jew out of the way. What are you going to do though? That's just one thing you did. Okay, now what's next? Getting him out of the way will not propel you to stardom. It will not propel you to success. It's just not the way that works. And they found that out with Drake. They got him out the way and they didn't do anything with it. What Drake say in the rap, he was like, what y'all gonna do with it? Have her like 28 twerking with a dictionary? Shout out to him. Craig says 3 albums dropped at the same time and took over top 50. Drake is superstar status. Superstar status. He's Michael Jackson and there's nobody even close. If you're going to make an equivalent to like another era of music, Drake is Michael Jackson and everybody else is like an Aaron Hall. Okay, good singer, has a couple little hits, but Aaron Hall, most of y'all don't even know who that is. A lot of people know who he is. But he's not anywhere near the status of Michael. The gap and the talent, the skill, the hits, the money, everything is just immense. It's really like the haves and the have-nots. Drake has and nobody else has anything, but really it's their own fault because they don't put the pedal to the metal and do what's needed to succeed the way he succeeded. And that's the bottom line. That's the moral of the story. If you want to have success the way someone else has it, you got to look at what they've done, look at their work habits and emulate that rather than just hating or rather than just doing what you think is necessary. Nah, you must do what is necessary. You must do what is needed to succeed. And if you're not going to do that, then you won't have success. Point blank. All right. Lindsay says, I was watching that classic Martha Stewart when I was 13 and learned how to make chicken fried rice. I'm talking an expensive dish too, but now I know how to make it with old rice and a few ingredients. There we go. Shout out to you. Salih says controversial take, but outside, good kid, Mad City, Kendrick, bang on average. I'm not really a Kendrick Lamar fan. Kendrick Lamar is like J. Cole. If I'm in my car and I want to sleep behind the wheel on a long trip, I put on that Kendrick Lamar. I put on that J. Cole. If I want to fall asleep behind the wheel, I put them on. They're boring. The music is not really that good. Kendrick's look, I don't like his look. I don't like his bell bottoms. I thought that was real gay. This dude came out with like girl jeans on. They were trying to figure out a way to spice him up, make him a little bit more interesting, make him a little bit more fashionable because when you see Kendrick Lamar, he the type dude that wear a Champion hoodie and some, just regular, like he about to go take out the trash or cut the grass. Like he's not really a fashionable person, which is okay. But they try to make him be more fashionable during Super Bowl. This dude's 5'5" with girly hips and they put him in a pair of bell bottoms. It's like, bro, what is this? Where'd you get these jeans from? Aeropro style, the women's section. I didn't like that. I didn't like the look. I didn't like the music. I didn't like nothing. It was weird. What they need to do is let Drake do the halftime show. That's what they need to do. Put somebody that got some hits on there that won't make me put somebody that has some hits that won't make me go night night. That's all I'm saying. Craig says government should not be in the middle of two consenting adults. I agree with you, bro. I agree with you. That's my thing. It's like, okay, if you have adult A and adult B and they say, okay, we're going to do C, what's the problem? What's the problem? As long as that's between just them two and they consent and they're adults, I have no problem. People, it go back to the whole LGBT thing. People will, they will try to accuse conservatives of being anti-LGBT. It's like, nah, the way I feel is whatever two adults do, it's not my business. As long as they consent, it's fine. So whether it's two men, two women, a man and a woman, whatever it is, that's their business. Again, two consenting adults. The problem is when they push that ideology of LGBT onto children. You see, now we're getting beyond the two consenting adults. Now you're trying to recruit children. Keep it between y'all. So that's what I say. Keep it just between the two people that's involved. This shouldn't be a thing. There shouldn't be a thing that the government is getting involved in. I agree with you 100%. IDCO says the rap game went cold without the boy. It went cold. It died. The rap died. They had an article last year, like it might have been October, November. It could have been October. Anyway, in the article, they said that there were no rap songs in the Billboard Top 100 for the first time since 1990. 1990. So you're talking about what, 35 years at that point? There always been a rap song on the Billboard Top 100. And 1990, that's like right when rap started, or like right when it became somewhat popular. I mean, you had the 80s, your Bismarck, all these guys. This is like the origins of rap. It's the origins of rap. Once you got to 1990, now we into MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice. You seeing rap music have commercial success and crossover appeal. It was a point in time where they didn't even play Michael Jackson on MTV because he was black. Okay. So 1990 was not that far from that particular point in time. So since rap really became rap, there always been a rap song in the Billboard Top 100. But last year there wasn't. And you got to ask yourself what happened. The hate train against Drake, the collusion against Drake. And now that he's back with 3 albums, you're going to have rap songs in the Billboard Top 100 again, thanks to Drake. One-hit wonders, a lot of one-hit wonders out there. That's right. A lot of one-hit wonders just doing their thing. All right, hold on. Dude Ross says, Chuck Rock. Hold on, Chuck Rock. That's Big Daddy Blake. Yeah, that's way back in the day. Chuck Rock, all of them. That's like the origins. This is when rap was still trying to really get that crossover appeal. It had some success in the 80s, of course, but it wasn't the way it was once you get to 1992. That time, 1996, especially, that might have been the peak of rap music, potentially. Because you had Big, Pop, Woo, all of that came out in 1996. Dude Ross says they need to stop hating and give Chris Brown a halftime show. They need to just let Chris Brown do it. I've been saying that. Just let Chris Brown do it because, first of all, he can do everything. He can sing, dance, whatever. Chris Brown, like 35, 37, I don't know how old he is. He can still hit a backflip right now. Just a tuck, like a back tuck, just not even running start, just flip up in the air and land it. Okay. He's a dancer, a real singer, and he has a catalog of hits. He could play the double mix song and that'll go hard in the Super Bowl halftime show. But the problem is the fight with Rihanna. They want to keep bringing that up, but really that wasn't something that was that bad. I mean, yeah, he beat her up, but it was mutual combat. I don't like this whole thing where we say we have equality and we're the same and all this and that and the third, but we're not really. Okay. If a man attacks a woman, it doesn't matter if she attacked him. If it's domestic violence and it's mutual combat, it only matters if the man did something to the woman. See, that's why anytime something like that is starting to happen, I'm gonna just excuse me. I'm going to excuse myself completely from the situation. I would never talk to them again. If I feel like a woman is trying to be combative and be fighting, even before the first punch is thrown, I'm out. Just if you talk to me crazy, you say little weird things, I'm good. Don't even worry about it because I see where this is going. I'm not trying to get into a confrontation. I'm not trying to have the police called on me. I'm not trying to go to jail. I'm not trying to have my reputation besmirched. I don't want my name soiled with a domestic violence situation. I don't want it. So before that gets to that level, I may excuse myself. But that's why Chris Brown cannot do the halftime show because of the whole Rihanna kerfuffle, which again, wasn't that bad, but that's just the way it is. It's double standard, but what can you do, right? All right. Salih says, ABL, you excited for the FIFA World Cup? I wanted to go to USA for it, but I just can't trust whether some nut job might do something stupid on a global stage. What are your thoughts on this? Well, I'm not really worried about that. I think it'll be okay. I mean, there's always risks of anything like that going on. And some of the matches will be right here in Atlanta. Well, I don't live in Atlanta, but I live close enough. Like I can drive there right now. I could drive and be at Mercedes-Benz in an hour and a half. And that stadium, if you've not seen it, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is absolutely beautiful. When you're watching the matches and they have them in Atlanta, look at that stadium. It's a work of art. It really is. So I may go. I don't know if I can. I think all tickets might be sold out. I don't know. I don't know how it really works. But if I have the opportunity to go, I'll go and check it out. Yeah, I could just drive straight down there. Salih says, Breezy could have been Michael Jackson level if he never beat Rihanna. Bro can sing and dance. Exactly. Yeah. Chris Brown been talented for a long time. And what we forget sometimes is that Chris Brown came into the music industry at like 14, 15. Okay. He was real young, real young. He been around for a good 20 years in music, consistently dropping good music. And they still want to hate. I saw an interview. What was that? Pitchfork, one of these goofball, nerd websites, talking about some, oh, this album sucks, all this, that. It's like, bro, come on. I'm hearing some of the songs and they sound like Chris Brown music to me. And it's not for everybody. If you don't like Chris Brown music, it's okay. Just like some may not like rap music, it's okay. You might not like country, it's okay. Whatever you like is fine. If you like it, I love it. I'm not worried about trying to police what someone likes. I'm not worried about trying to police someone's music taste. Whatever you like, I love it. Hold on. I know I'm tearing your name up. NYC says that Rihanna incident hurt him. It did. Iron Spider says my favorite era of rap was from the 2000s, the mid 2000s. You might be a little bit, how old are you? You might be a little bit younger than me. For me, my favorite era of rap, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because I can just say 1996. That's just me being nostalgic because I was young at the time. But a lot of stuff came out. You had the Wu-Tang came out, 36 Chambers. You had Pac was still living at this time before he got shot in September of that year. Big was out. You had Jay-Z. You had a lot of those people. But then once you get later, now we're getting into more of the Southern rap. I think really rap from like, I don't know, when Future came out with Tony Montana, when we had Future and Drake out, Kanye out, Pusha T, Clips, all of that. I like that era too. That was really good era. I'm not sure what years that was, but yeah, all of that I like. And I like what's happening right now with Drake, the new Clips, and I like Ty Dolla $ign, whatever he puts out. Hey, Ty Dolla $ign, you could put out anything, bro. You could be singing the ABCs. I'm gonna listen to it because you got the great voice and you got some interesting subject matter, but plus you got Kanye producing. And Kanye, regardless of what he's going through, he's gonna make a good music. He'll make some good music. He'll make a good song. As you wish says, unfollowing, you are Rhino and Trump has gone off the deep end. Okay, why you telling me though? Like, why I care about that? Why you gotta announce it to me? Like, why do I care about that? Okay, fantastic. Hope you enjoyed the content while you were here. And you know what? The funny part is, I think that comes from a place of love. And I think you'll be back. So I'm not going to ban you or block you. Come on back when you're ready. It's okay. You can go. And okay, I got a question. If you unfollow me, who are you going to watch? You're going to watch Nick Fuentes? You're going to watch one of these guys? Oh, okay. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. You're going to watch Candace Owens? Hey, if you're watching Candace, shout out to you. But I would never. I could never. Like, I'm thinking about who I would watch. If I did not make what I make, my content, who would I watch politically? It would not be. I watch my brother B. Tatum. I watch Craig. I watch guys like that. But beyond that, I ain't watching nobody. I'm not watching no Candace Owens. I'm not watching Nick Fuentes. I'm not watching none of these dweebs talk about Israel this, Israel that. I don't care nothing about that. Talk about the USA. How about that? I don't care about your nannies and stuff like that. Talk about things that I can relate to. Somebody says it's wild how he didn't have role models or people around him at that age, keep him away from that sort of situation. Well, you got to understand, Chris Brown, I don't know who he had that was in the music industry, but Chris Brown from a small town in Virginia, and he witnessed his parents have domestic violence. So it's like, what do you really know? You don't know what you don't know. And he was younger. He might have been 19 at the time. People forget about that too, because remember, he came into the industry very young. And I think she's older than him, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, yeah, it was something else. Adizio says, I went to a Chris Brown show last year at MetLife Stadium and the whole 80,000 people there were screaming the entire time. 10 out of 10 performance on CB. Hey, Chris is Michael Jackson. He's on that level. When you're talking about what Chris Brown, Drake, these are top tier. If you're going to rank them, you know how they do on the internet where they rank S rank to D, F rank, whatever. Drake, Chris Brown, guys like that, these are S ranks. These are like the best of the best, the top of the top. I don't know who else you would put up there in music who's on that level. It don't matter, what country, what race, religion, genre. Who are you going to put up there with those guys? I don't really know. As you would say, Charlie Kirk endorsed Massie. Oh, you still here? You didn't leave. I thought you were unsubscribing. My bad. So you still here, like I said. Okay. As you wish continues and did not leave yet, says Charlie Kirk endorsed Massie. The areas that Trump hated about Massie are the areas Charlie was outspoken about before his murder. Well, I don't know nothing about that. All I know is that I'm not a fan of Thomas Massie. So whatever Charlie said or what he didn't say don't matter. I don't care what the next man says. If I don't agree with it, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with everything Trump does. And speaking of Trump and things I don't agree with, can I get a break on the gas? My God, I have an F-150. Hey, half tank, $50 off the rip. Half tank, $50. Full tank, $100. $100. $100. Hey, Chris, that $100 gonna go to that gas tank. Nah, but for real, I don't agree with everyone just because the next man did. That's not how I operate. So RP to my friend Charlie, RP to him. And I'm taking your word for it. I feel like you're not telling me the truth. I feel like you heard that from Candace. But anyway, Andrew, what's going on? Says, yo, Anthony, let's get on the call. Let's do it, bro. Let's do it. We got to do that. Matter of fact, I'm going to DM you, man, so we can schedule it, or you could do it tonight. Maybe like if I'm still on later, I get you on, but we could do a call where it's just us talking. Yeah, that'd be a good call. So shout out to you. Hey, you got some good content. Some of your content is like, how can I say, thought provoking. I don't want to say inflammatory, but it can get it's a conversation starter. Put it to you that way. I want to say it's inflammatory. I don't think you like that. But yeah, I'm a DM you, bro. And if you're still here later on, I might be able to get you on this while I'm live. R83 Saint Anger says, what's my opinion on Metallica? I don't know a lot about them. I'm not really into Metallica like that, but I've heard some of their songs, of course. If you were to put a gun in my head and say, hey, name a Metallica song, I don't know, man. Blood, Anger. I don't know. But from what I've heard, from what I've known throughout the years, whenever I've heard them, I've not been disappointed. Iron Spider says, traffic is going to be ugly at MetLife Stadium. Don't bother. Just watch at home. Oh, yeah. Hey, if traffic is going to be off the hook here in Atlanta and they're working on 285. Oh, my Lord. So, yeah, MetLife is going to be a thing. The Mercedes-Benz is going to be a thing. Yeah, it's going to be a mess. Hey, man, I might need to get me a teleportation device to go there. I don't even want to do no Uber, no bus, no MARTA. Definitely not no MARTA. I ain't trying to be on no urine soap train car. I ain't trying to smell like pee-pee. You know what I mean? That ain't really my thing. All right, Andrew, I see your DM right there. I'll get you on. What time is it right now? Like about 10:30-ish. Right around then. My top 5 MCs. See, now we talking about rap. Okay. I don't know. My top 5 MCs. Who would I say? That's such a hard question, man. I can't really say. I mean, who I'm listening to right now in my car is one thing, but top 5 all time is something different. I'm going to just say this. I might not be able to answer that question. Maybe I can give you a better answer later when I think about it. But as of right now, who I'm playing in my car, Drake, of course, Future, Gunna, Ty Dolla $ign, Kanye. That's it. Yeah, that's it. And if it's not them with rap music, I listen to like 80s R&B, 80s, 90s, Teddy Riley, New Jack Swing, Michael Jackson, Prince, that era. Okay. That era and people that's like that. Michael Jackson-esque, Prince-esque. Not a big fan of R. Kelly. People say, oh, R. Kelly is the king of R&B. I'm not an R. Kelly fan. You know what I mean? Some of his songs I like, but I'm not really an R. Kelly fan. That's not really my cup of tea, personally, respectfully. Iron Spider says 28. I grew up on 50 Cent. Okay, so you grew up in that era, 50 Cent, Eminem. Yeah, okay, I get it. Okay, yeah. So for your age, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, because that was like what you heard growing up. It's the same thing with me, 1996. I heard all of that stuff growing up. Woo and Puff Daddy, all of that. I remember when Puff Daddy first came out. He had that really high pitch song. It's Puff Daddy. I remember that, like 1994. I was probably about 10 years old. A lot of y'all weren't even born. So when I'm seeing things going on about, y'all call him Diddy. I remember when he had his name changed to Diddy, but I knew him as Puff. Anybody that's my age is going to call him Puff because that's what we knew him as when he was first coming out. You know, when I had the tape, Puff Daddy and the Family No Way Out. I had that on cassette tape, 1996, before Big got shot. So I grew up on that. But putting nostalgia aside, Drake, Future, Kanye, that's going to be your top three to me right now. DMX, Redman. Yeah, DMX had a monumental run. I saw DMX in concert way back. I saw DMX at the Heart Not Life tour back in the day at Hampton Coliseum in Virginia. It was DMX, Jay-Z, Method Man, Redman. I think that was it. It might have been Cannabis there or somebody. I don't know who it was, but I know for sure DMX, Method Man, Redman, and Jay-Z were there. Do I like Metallica? I don't really know a lot. Why you guys? I don't. All I got for you about Metallica is whatever I gave to you, boss. That's all I got. Dizio says ABL or Rhino. I might have played the lottery. I had no idea I was a Rhino. That's news to me. So shout out to the person that called me a Rhino. Hey, you learn something new every day, don't you? Iron Spider says, but I mostly grew up with punk rock, but I do listen to other genres of music as long as it's good. Hey, I'm with you. Yeah, I like some of that stuff. I remember back when I had moved from Portsmouth, Chesapeake, and hanging out with the white kids. Shout out to y'all if you're watching. And I got put on the Korn. A lot of black guys love that Korn because they kind of are like me. Like they like the hip hop element they have. It's like white hip hop, and we enjoy it. We appreciate it because it's similar to what we do, but with a guitar and like an electric guitar. So it was a good merging of culture. So that kind of stuff, your new metal, I like that because it's like rap. And I'm already familiar with rap, so it was an easy transition. It's not like going from rap to straight up like bluegrass. That's a whole different culture, whole different language even. It's way different. And but y'all know I love some of my old country songs. Don't break my heart, my achy breaky heart. Miley Cyrus' dad, Billy Ray Cyrus. Shout out to Billy Ray. And even some of Miley Cyrus's stuff because she had Mike Will Made It, who was a hip hop producer, make a lot of her stuff. Wrecking Ball, all of that, that's him, if I'm not mistaken. So if it has a similar sound and it just kind of hits certain little notes in my brain that enjoy being hit with the music, then I'm cool with it. Brian says, do I think Chud the Builder had it coming? Chud the Builder, I don't know if I want to say he had it coming. I'm not sure I'm going to say that particular phraseology. I'm going to say that Chud the Builder brought it on himself. The things that Chud the Builder was doing was going to lead to this particular place. Now, I don't wish that on him. I would not wish anybody to be locked up when it could be prevented. This is why people were trying to tell him to stop doing what you're doing, because ultimately you're going to get hurt or someone else is going to get hurt. And in this case, it's not even, people are trying to make it be about a First Amendment. It's not nothing about that. People, let me just say this. Can I just talk plainly? Yes, I can. Okay, I'm going to just do that. I just make sure we're on the same page first. People will say First Amendment in a case like this as an excuse to just bother people and get away with it, to harass people and get away with it, to call you the N-word in your face and get away with it. They enjoy calling you the N-word and you don't do anything. They enjoy seeing the pain on your face, the anguish on your face as you're being emasculated, because they're so soft and they're so weak, they can't do anything other than emasculate you in that instance. That's all that it is. This whole free speech argument, people just twisting themselves in knots. You know, they do all type of stuff, man. They're jumping through hoops of fire to excuse it because they're too soft to just go out there and do it. If you were a real tough guy, you would just say what you're going to say and don't try to hide it as a First Amendment issue. Oh, I'm an auditor, First Amendment. No, you're just somebody who was trying to harass people without getting in trouble. You're trying to literally throw the stone and hide your hand. Matter of fact, you throwing the stone and you want to tell me that you didn't do it. Because I just saw you do it. No, I didn't. And a lot of y'all are gaslighters too. You'll try to manipulate. I don't like that. Look, if you want to be racist, just be racist. If you want to call somebody the N-word, just say the N-word. Don't try to make it be about First Amendment. Okay. And let me tell you something else. Anybody that's listening to me, any of you smooth brains that got no wrinkles in your brain at all, not you, Brian, because you understand what's going on. But some people out there need to hear this. Okay. I don't know who got one crease in their brain or a straight up smooth cylindrical surface. Okay. I don't know who has that, but you need to hear this. You can't just go up to people minding their own business, streaming, hey, N-word, N-word, N-word. They're chimping out. They're chimping out. You're harassing people. When that happens, what are they going to say? Can you please get away from me? Can you please get away from me? I'm in public. They're chimping out. That's called harassment. If a fight happens, that's called provocation. These are things that are baked into the law. And some of these people think they're so slick. They think they're so clever, but they're not. The laws in the books are already written for these people. It's already right there. You think you're getting away with it, but you're not. Chet the Builder is a jailbird. He thinks he has the right idea in his brain, but then once he gets caught doing it, he goes to jail. Okay, this is a repeat pattern for him. And anyone following him is going to be in the same place where he is at. The blind leading the blind. Y'all both gonna fall in the hole. Okay, y'all both gonna fall in the hole. He blind and you following behind him. That means you're blind as well. So I wish that he didn't do it because now you about to be Walmart Tavius's wife in there. You about to be Princess Diana, Dirty Diana. You're going to be in there. You're going to be a whole girlfriend. They're going to have you in there wearing a dress made out of a t-shirt with no panties on type stuff. I got a little bit graphic, but you understand what I'm saying? That's how it's going to be for him in the penitentiary in Tennessee. Do you know that Tennessee is a very high black population state? This ain't no Aryan Brotherhood stronghold. No, it's not. And the ABs would extort him as well. He be the girlfriend to the ABs too because he's so soft. He's not even hard enough to go with the ABs. Aryan Brotherhood. And you're not even going to have no ABs in the Tennessee penitentiary. Do you know where Memphis is? It's in Tennessee. Hey, he going to the penitentiary. Are you going to hear, hey man, say man, hey man. You're going to hear that all day. All day. Big poops, little pants. You're going to hear that all day. And eventually, you and one of the dudes that had killed Young Dolph going to be in the same cell, and you're going to be his wife for the stay. That's what it's going to be. So why would you want that for yourself? What have you proven here? What have you done other than ruin your own life? And to the smooth brains that are talking about donating to him, what are you trying to accomplish? Because you just want to say the N-word. A lot of you fat neck beards that don't got nothing going on for yourself. Okay, I'm getting triggered. My point is this. Leave people alone. And the race element don't even matter. I don't care if you're a black person, a white person, a Puerto Rican, or Candy Stripe person. I don't care if who you're messing with is a black person, a white person, a Puerto Rican person, or a Candy Stripe person. Leave people alone. Leave people alone. Mind your own business. Do your own thing. Don't interrupt somebody's day. Don't rain on their parade. Just leave people alone. When I go anywhere, I don't just get into these confrontations. Chet the Builder and people like him want to act like they're always victimized. Oh, I just go around talking and I'm always in trouble and they're mean to me. Princess Diana in the penitentiary. That's going to be you. Cause that soft stuff, that crying while you're out there doing things to people, that ain't going to fly in the penitentiary. You're going to be a girl in there. And I don't wish that on you, but it is what it is. That's your fault. And let it be a lesson to anybody out there watching. Don't try to follow in this moron's shoes, because you're going to be right where he's at. Ain't nobody going to be sympathetic. Most people, most normal humans, when they hear what he was doing, when they see what he was doing in all these videos, when they see his tweets, when they see his confessions, how he was trying to kill a black person and he was trying to go viral from doing it, and it was going to be a dead chimp on the pavement. When they see all of that combined with the videos, they're going to throw the book at him. They're going to throw him on. He's going to get prison time, 25 with the L. You shot somebody, bro. See, it's just one thing if you just want to irritate people. That's bad enough. But you shot somebody on GP because you had to do it. Y'all having the verbal altercation. Here you go. Like this. Blade in your body. That's what that means, right? Blade in your body like this. And you pulling the weapon and shooting. You can't do that. You can't do that. Self-defense. No, you can't be the initial aggressor and claim self-defense. You also cannot pull your gun during an altercation and say it's self-defense. That's not the way that works. It's not the way that works. But again, you got these smooth brains thinking they know the law and they don't. Chuck the Builder did not, which is why he's going to go to the penitentiary. So simple. Varmint says gas is going down. AB, what's your issue with Massie? Gas is not going down. No, it's not. I just paid $4.20 something for gas for regular. And before that, it was $3.80. And before that, obviously, it was a lot lower. But Thomas Massie, all he does is just get in the way of whatever Trump is trying to do. He's just not somebody that's on the same page with us. So I don't play on Thomas Massie. He just gets in the way and doesn't get anything done. If anybody likes Thomas Massie, tell me what he's done. What has he accomplished? What is his claim to fame? Just being against the Jews? Just saying the Jews did it? Is that it? Oh, okay. Last I checked, statements like that do not count as accomplishments. What has he actually done in his time in Congress? Nothing. Except for get in the way, obstruct what Trump wants to do. Not a team player. So you can just go ahead and either become a Democrat or just leave Congress, in my humble opinion. All right. JMJ, shout out to Central Autobot. Shout out to you. Andrew says, DM me when you're ready. I got you, boss. I got you. Lindsay says, folk music, Celtic music, classic instrumental stuff nobody else likes. That's what I love. And then Tina Turner, Hall & Oates, Van Morrison, Talking Heads, the Beatles, classic bluegrass. Right on. Shout out to Tina Turner from Tennessee. Simply the best, better than all the rest. Shout out Dolly Parton, Jolene. Shout out Dolly. Yes. I'm in East Tennessee. This is pretty much the Dolly Kingdom. Hey, you could go around here. You could see just random people look just like Dolly Parton. They got the same thing. I was in Walmart one day. It was a lady in there working, looked just like Dolly Parton. The same makeup. She ain't had that right there going on, but everything else is pretty much like spot on. And yeah, Dolly is very much loved and respected here, as she should be. Shout out Dolly Parton. If she ran for governor, she would win. No problem. Yo says, you went to the Hard Knock Life tour. I sure did. 1998, Hampton Coliseum, Hampton, Virginia. It was a night to remember for sure. I was like, probably about 14 at the time. Now I might have been older. This might have been 2000. I might have been 15 or 16 at the time. So it might have been 2000, I think. Celie says, all right, I'm out. All the best, bro. Thank you for the entertainment. Have a great day. And God bless y'all. God bless you as well. Thank you for joining. Glad you appreciate it. Brian says, love that video of you talking with the First Amendment guy on the phone. Thought you handled it perfectly. I'm all for free speech, but Chuck the Builder had it coming. That's what I'm saying. And young guys like that, they don't really understand. They don't really get it. They don't know. They draw their worldview based on what makes sense to them from internet forums and stuff like this, but it's not the complete picture. They're getting an incomplete story, and they often make judgments based on the incomplete story, wrong story, misinformation. Okay, we saw a situation with the shooter. Now, I'm not trying to say he's the equivalent of that at all. He seemed to be a pretty reasonable guy, but the shooters at the mosque. And by the way, I had that video up on my Instagram and my Facebook, but I took it down because they took it down off of YouTube. They just removed it. It wasn't even no strike or nothing. It just took it off. Even though I didn't show anything, because there was more to that video about the San Diego shooting, and may they rest in peace, those who died at the mosque. May they rest in peace, prayers out to their family. But there was a video of these guys going through a building with their guns. They had stuff written on their guns. I didn't show any shooting, and I didn't show the end because I saw the end. The end, the one person shot his accomplice, and then hit himself. Yeah, that's what happened at the end. I ain't show. Of course, you can't show all that now, but I did see that. So they had a bunch of stuff in the manifesto, the typical stuff. You know, the Christchurch, New Zealand, that was an inspiration for them. They were talking about references, all kind of stuff. Oh, and by the way, there's some parts of the manifesto out, but I can't verify it. Like, I want to do a video on that with everything in it, but I got to verify some stuff. The video I had on has been verified. That's right. I got it from a pretty good source, and I'm reading different sources and they corroborate what was in it. CNN said that they saw the same video and they outlined the same things that I saw in that video. But the manifesto has not been independently verified as of yet, but probably by tomorrow they'll verify it. So hopefully I can do a video at that point and bring up the manifesto and the video and everything. All right, let's keep on going. Adizio says, it's a thin line between the First Amendment and harassment. Cheddar Chud is cooked. He's cooked. He's cooked because the First Amendment does not give you the right to just do whatever you want to do, because there is a thing called harassment. That's a real thing. And in Georgia specifically, I know there's a thing called fighting words. If you get in somebody's face, F-U-B, your mother's a W-H-O-R-E, all this and that and the third, if you're doing all that and you get punched in the face, the person who punched you in the face is not going to get locked up. You see what I'm saying? Some people think that that's the case until they get punched in the face, and then they end up going to jail rather than the guy that hit them. It just that right there is just ignorance of the law. You think one thing is true, but something else is true. That's the reality. Dude Ross says, I noticed he didn't go to Memphis. Oh, yeah, he didn't want to do that. No. He stayed up in Clarksville and Nashville. He ain't go down Memphis. Hey, I'm telling you. Hey, man, say, man. That's all you're going to hear in the penitentiary. Okay. It'll be some dude in there. He black as midnight. Hey, he like this right here. He could be like that color and 6'5". He don't know nothing. He don't have no education or nothing. Okay. He could be in there like, hey, man, say, man, go in the bottom bunk, man. You know what it is, man. You gonna hear that all day in your cell. You're going to hear man every 2 seconds. Hey, man, you know, the moral of the story to the youngins and everybody, just don't bother people. Just do right. Just be a good person. Just do right by the world. Do right by society. Am I asking too much? Is that too much to ask? I hope not. I hope not. What's going on? CT Conservative Girl, thank you for joining. Thank you. If I'm behind on the comments, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Lindsay says they're looking for a can of Whoop A. You know the rest. I ain't going to spell it. Whoop A. Thornton Tribe says you have class. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Adizio says they said they had relations with a T person, so he's definitely going to be someone's piece. Oh, yeah. You're talking about Chud? Yeah. Say that he was, you know what I mean? He was getting bent. He was getting bent. Okay. And he definitely going to be getting bent in the penitentiary. Oh my goodness. And it's going to be a mess, but it's his fault. Gas is not going down exactly. That's what I'm saying. CT Conservative Girl, it's not going down. Thomas Massie is a mess. Never liked him. There you go. Shout out to you. Varmint says, I agree. I wanted to like him at first, but he became like Rand Paul Jr. Not even Rand Paul better than that, in my opinion. Rand Paul better than that. Thomas Massie is just a mess for no reason. Iron Spider says gas is still expensive here in New Jersey, but my governor, Cheryl, aka Spamberger Light, is also responsible for raising my any energy and or fossil fuel consumption, harming the environment. So they say anyway. You know what's happening with that? That's all over the nation. You got a lot of energy bills going up. It's because of the data centers. I don't know what they're trying to prepare for. Maybe they're trying to just accelerate the adoption of AI, because maybe in their mind, they dedicate a lot of natural resources to AI that's going to compound the development speed so they can reach a certain level of autonomy in the AI world that will give human beings a bit more help. Basically, it will relieve a lot of the soul crushing tasks that we do and a lot of things that are not being done by human beings right now. And if these things are not done by human beings, you're going to have societal collapse. But they realize people are just kind of burnt out. They got a little bit too much money. They don't want to do it. So they're trying to make AI be the new underclass and then have everybody else be on top of that. But the problem is it's kind of a bet. And any kind of expense to the environment, to your pocket, they're kicking the can of responsibility for that down the road. That's what's happening in my humble opinion. That's kind of what's happening. And I don't even want to get into the ET stuff, the spooky stuff. They're talking about it could be some other people coming. But I think what they're trying to do is just make AI be the new underclass to replace the people that don't want to be in that class anymore. Have that be down here, have them do all the soul crushing labor type of jobs, and then everybody else be above. We'll just manage them. We'll manage them. That's going to be the role. And if you're not going to be in the role of managing AI or doing things that AI cannot do, you'll be a ward of the state, essentially, and you'll get an enhanced version of welfare benefits. That's my opinion about what they're going to do. Okay, so in the meantime, you got to pay for it. From higher water costs or contaminated water, potentially. Energy is going to go up. Gas is going to go up. Varmint says gas is going to go down once. It will go down in the future once we can get this Strait of Hormuz kerfuffle tighten up. Yeah, I agree with you on that for sure. But until then, we got a problem. Dude Ross says, I like to see you at Tatum and Coleon Noir do a range day. That'd be good. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. All right, I'm caught up on the comments now, but shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a heart. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, what else we got going on? Did I get everything I wanted to get to? We got to the shooter. We got to Chris Brown, all of that. We got to quite a few things. But any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, Thomas Massie. Oh, Thomas Massie, bro, you out here trying to finagle? Okay, Thomas Massie, you kind of remind me of the other guy, Joe Kent. Remember Joe Kent? This guy he had some kind of random job, and then he winds up getting fired, kicking and screaming, talking about, oh, Israel and the Jews and Israel, all this kind of weird stuff, right? It's the same kind of thing with Thomas Massie. He's talking about, oh, well, I try to concede to my opponent, but he was intelligent. I couldn't reach him. It's like, bro, you're just in the way. You're just in the way. Okay. And you are just like the other guy that was talking like that, Joe Kent. Joe Kent was out here, you know what I mean, just living his best life. His wife got blown up in Syria by ISIS or somebody. And then right after that, he gets married, like 2 years later, not like a year or two later, he got married again. Thomas Massie, same thing. His wife dies. Hey, he right back out in the streets. And you trying to just slang it all through Congress. It's like, bro, where's your moral footing at? Oh, and another guy. Oh, I almost forgot about this guy. Have you seen this guy? Wait a minute. What's this guy's name? This guy's name is, hold on. Graham Platner, the main Senate candidate. Do y'all see this right here? Look at this. It says, Maine Democrat wrote about, can I say that word on Instagram? Self-pleasuring and portable toilets and deleted posts. So let me explain what happened. And it's a little bit graphic, but not too graphic. This is like PG-13. So be ready. If you got virgin ears, be ready. It's a trigger warning. Okay. So Graham Platner, he's running for Senate in Maine, a Democrat, of course. And he had a Reddit account. It has since been deleted. But in the Reddit account, he said that he enjoys self-pleasuring and porta potties because the smell of the blue water really gets him off. That's going to be your senator, that guy. Hey, man, if you're saying stuff like that on a public platform that I can link to you, who knows what's on your phone that I can't see? Who knows what you've done that you don't want me to know? If you're going to say something like that out in the public, what have you done privately that I should know about? That's what I'm asking. What kind of sick individual does that? In the porta potty, bro? You enjoy that smell? That's something. Look, I try to avoid a porta potty at all costs. I don't want to go to a porta potty. I don't want to even, I'm good. That's like your last resort. If I'm on a construction site, then maybe. But I try to avoid it at all costs. You going in there to just, you know what I mean? And again, Graham Platner, U.S. Senate candidate. This guy could be in Congress, Capitol Hill, D.C. Hey, bro, ain't gonna be no porta potties in Congress. That ain't gonna be no porta potties in Congress. How you gonna be able to survive? But you gonna import some porta potty waters anyway. But yeah, no shout out to him. No shout out to him at all. If you're living in Maine and you can vote in this election, don't vote for him. Hey, if you live in Maine and you are able to vote, don't vote for him. I beg you. We can't have a guy like that in the Senate. I understand you might like him for some reason. I don't know why you would like him. Pardon me. But he cannot be in the Senate. That's going to be a complete mess. It really will be. CT Conservative Girl says, yeah, they say Thomas Massie was bribing and paying off a woman while he was married. He's a trip. See, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, we can't be doing that, Thomas Massie. That ain't really it. Adizio says the guy with the actual Nazi tattoos, Democrat support. Exactly. Nazi tattoos. You're going to the porta potties, handling your business in a different kind of way you shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? Kendall says real quick, what do you think Trump's exit strategy is for Iran? I don't think he has any idea what he's doing. I mean, I don't really know. That's a good question. I don't really know. So we're going to see. I've heard some people in administration say like an exit date could be coming because now I pay attention when people say somebody asked Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury, if I'm not mistaken. They asked Scott Bessent. They were like, when can we see $3 a gallon gas again? And he said by the end of the summer, if I'm not mistaken. So I think by the end of summer, they're going to have to just pull a rabbit out the hat and get her done. How are they going to do it? I don't know. There's a lot of things they're doing that I didn't know they could do. The discombobulator, I didn't know they had that. So I don't know what they're going to do, but they got to pull a rabbit out the hat ASAP, because if they don't, this is going to prolong and it's going to really mess up the midterms more than it has already. All right. Adizio says, bro, send them to the shadow realm. That's egregious. Yeah. With the porta potty stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy. But hey, it is what it is. Send them to jail. Hey, man. Yeah, you got to get locked up for that. For sure. You got to go to the penitentiary for that. Like immediately. Post haste. But yeah, we're going to see how this whole midterm thing plays out. I'm happy so far with what happened in Kentucky. And I hope we have good results all over the nation. But this Iran war, that's the only thing that's gonna try to get in the way, in my humble opinion. Yeah, that's the only thing that's gonna get in the way. But I'm glad that Thomas Massie is up out of there. And hopefully this guy, Graham Platner, does not win. Now, how you feel about who else we got? We have Spencer Pratt. Spencer Pratt out there in Los Angeles. Spencer Pratt. I like Spencer Pratt's platform, but I don't like this whole thing where he was talking about he lives in the Airstream trailer and he doesn't live in the Airstream trailer. I thought that was ridiculous. I thought he didn't need to do that. It was unnecessary for him to do that. He could have just said, he could have just kept it real. And now he's doing these ads where he's in the trailer a lot. It's like, bro, you kind of just being funny. I don't really like that. Yeah, that ain't really my, you know what I mean? That ain't really my, I don't like that. I like for you to be more real. Kendall says, the gas prices are driving him crazy. He would have done something if he could. Adizio says that Bel Air ad was pretty funny. I mean, I watched the Bel Air ad. Well, I tried to watch it, but the problem is the trailer was right there in the opening. I'm like, bro, that just immediately pissed me off. Like off the rip. When I saw that trailer, I was like, bro, see, people like that just do stuff. I feel like poking at people. It's like, okay, you want to say I don't live in my trailer? Well, I'm going to do an ad in my trailer. It's petty, but it's California. So I saw little stuff that he was doing in the debate that I didn't quite like, but I gave him a pass because it's California. Because are you really going to find a super high, confident, competent person to run in California and really succeed? That's going to be difficult. If Nithya Raman and Karen Bass are in charge, how are you going to go from that to like a Ronald Reagan? So put Spencer in there. Let him do it. Okay. Let this dude that was playing with crystals and kirking out on this girl on the TV show. Let him do it. At least he's not Karen Bass or Nithya Raman. So you kind of take whatever you can, basically. Take whatever you can. All right, hold on. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up or a heart, whatever you can do. If you're on Instagram or YouTube, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. E59198 says, what's my take on Wemby? Is he a new face of the NBA? Wemby is most certainly the new face of the NBA. What he's doing right now is crazy. What Wemby is doing is something that I've never seen before. To be that tall and that agile and that good. He's like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and Tim Duncan and Shaq and Giannis in one. And he's young. He's like 22. This reminds me of Tony Parker when he came to the Spurs at age 19. The things that he was doing at that age, at that time in basketball history, it was crazy. I was watching him in high school. I was like, he's 19 doing all this. It was crazy. And Wemby kind of gave me that same feeling now, at my age now, seeing him out there. It's like, wow. I saw him hit a shot from like almost half court like it was nothing. At 7'6", I don't know how tall he is. And he's 22, so he got time to really get his body developed because Giannis now is much bigger and stronger than he was when he first came in. When he first came in, he was real skinny coming from Greece. They ain't picky no English. Although Giannis kind of sucks now because of what he's been doing, he is still a really, really good player, a dominant player. And Wemby is dominant and good right now at 22 years old. Like LeBron. When LeBron came into the league, he was dominant right away. At 18, straight out of high school. Wemby is on that same level. Dominant immediately, young, got a bright future ahead. So, yeah, I think that Wemby is the face of the NBA. I'm not sure that they want him to be the face of the NBA because he's foreign. They might want Anthony Edwards to do it because he's an American, like Michael Jordan. Anthony Edwards is like Michael Jordan, very similar. Their genetic makeup, their play style, the competitive spirit is very similar to what Jordan was. Cole tried to be like Jordan, but Cole was just Cole. Cole was just a hard worker. He was not as athletically gifted as Jordan was or Anthony Edwards, but he was such a hard worker that he could succeed based on that alone. That's kind of how I feel about myself. I'm going to just be so good at what I do that I'm going to succeed regardless. It don't matter that I don't have the natural talent somebody else has. A person could be naturally talented more than me in speaking. I got a stuttering issue, but I still can make money from talking. Imagine that. It's kind of like Cole. Cole did not have the natural athleticism of Michael Jordan or Anthony Edwards, but he was able to get 5 rings. So imagine that. All right. Let's get you one here, Andrew. We don't freeze up. All right. Let's see if we can get you on, boss. And if it works, there we go.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Man, just chilling, bro. I've been watching your content, bro. I like your stuff. That's because I remember you followed me like when I first started, bro, and I grown since. You was like one of the ones I was like, oh shoot, like I got a follow from Anthony. Like I'm doing big things now. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. I saw you right away, and I was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be good because the way your content was, how you were speaking, I could tell right away that you were gonna blow up." So I was like, "Me get on the train right now because I see what you're gonna do."
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Cause I like the stuff you talk about. I follow Brandon Tatum too. He follows me. And that like black culture like talk when we're talking about like accountability and we gotta be better and we can't think like a hive mind. We gotta think like on our own. And it's just like, yeah, that's not like the mainstream. So when I first because I think Charleston White was where I heard it first actually. How do you feel about Charleston White? I know he's kind of controversial.
I like him because he communicates in the way that people can understand, and he's a smart person. I like
Yeah.
how smart I like.
Yeah, I like Charleston White too. Who like got you into politics?
Well, this has been a thing I've been doing for a long time. Like it's kind of in my family. So let's talk about me for a second. I ain't gonna talk you to death, but I was the kind of kid, I was watching the news when I was 8 years old. I was watching the elections and stuff in Virginia, where I'm from. I was watching that when I was a kid. Um, my granddad and my dad were involved in politics. My granddad knew the first and only black governor of Virginia, Douglas Wilder. He was in the Virginia state government in the 90s. My dad was in the politics. He would help with the polling stations. He would help people run in. I helped one of my friends run for mayor in Norfolk. Um, the police chief, I knew the police chief, and I know the police chief out here and the governor. So I kind of always been involved in politics some kind of way. Even before I started getting on YouTube back in 2015, I was
Mhm.
always just interested in it. I didn't know I could make a living doing what I'm doing right now until 2015. Before then, I
Mhm.
was just always interested in politics. So it's kind of like in my blood. It's just part of my life, really.
That's what's up. So you like working a regular job and then you were just like interested in politics and just kind of like being around? Like how did you make it into what you do?
Okay, so I'm self-employed. I've been like that since 2007. So almost 20 years now. When I first started working, I was a graphic designer, web designer, and we had a print shop. So we
Mm,
had this big machine. We could print out 13 by 19 sheet of paper, cut it up in 9 pieces. We had a big cutter. Had a big cutter. We can box stuff, ship it
mm,
off. We did that for a long time. We did it for probably about 5 years. Then after that, I was still doing like club flyers, brochures, business cards, booklets, websites. I did all that for a long time
mhm.
up until 2018. I did my last job in 2018 for some guys over in Angola in southern, western part of Africa, southern Africa. And I know you know where that's at. You Nigerian, right?
Yes, sir.
I know my Nigerian. I know my Niger man when I see him. I know that you are that guy from the stats. I knew it was you.
Man, bro, they be calling me a tether because I be talking about the black issues. They're like, oh, you're not an FBA. He's a Nigerian. He don't. And it's like, all right, I mean, I am a Nigerian. Like, bro, I'm a scam, you know what I'm saying? I'm a scam prince. Like, we have our things as well. It's not like I'm
Yeah.
trying to not be Nigerian, but I'm just saying sometimes I like to talk about the black issues as a collective. And it's like, some people are, because you know how the FBAs be sometimes. They be like real exclusive.
Yeah, yeah, but see, the thing about it is, I know Nigerians, and I know we got a lot in common. You got a lot in common from
Yeah.
African American and Nigerian, but it's a
Y'all are
cultural.
probably Nigerian too, or Angola, because that's where most of the slaves came from. It was like 60% from Angola, like 20% Nigeria. So I know people don't know which one it was, but I mean, you probably in that type of at least West Africa. Y'all
Well,
came from there.
you see my face. I already did my ancestry, so I'm
Yeah.
82% West African and mostly
Okay.
Nigerian.
I
Yeah,
got like,
we're handsome guys, so you
and
already know what it
there you
is.
go. Exactly. Hey, man, you got some strong genetics. You already know what it is. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we got the genetic thing in common, but the cultural issues are a disconnect. Like even in Africa, you have different people. They might look the exact same, but culturally they're
Yeah.
different. And there's no difference between African American, Nigerian, or whatever you're from. It's just the cultural issues that can be the division. And I think that a lot of the FBA folks, that they just focused on what we have in common, how to build a bridge with each other here in America, we'd be a
Hmm.
lot better off rather than just trying to create division. And Tariq Nasheed, speaking about him,
Yeah, he's the biggest one.
he been around for a long time. He was doing other stuff. Do you know his history?
I know he used to be a rapper. He had that like failed rap career. He had that one song. It was something like I forgot. Somebody like exposed it, and it was like the dumbest, like
Wash
the
your ass.
most the which one?
Wash your ass. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. I'm like, bro, I know you're not over here talking about like this is talk about politics now. Like, bro, you were the problem. You were the problem that you're talking about now. So it's like, bro, come on now.
But see, what's happening with him is that he found a lane for himself, and he's able to just kind of settle in that because he's always been doing like online stuff. So first it was the rapping, then it became he was like trying to be like a pimp a little bit. He wrote a book or a few
Yeah.
about pimping. So he would have talks about that
Hmm.
online, and then that kind of became the whole FBA thing once he found a lane for himself, and he found that there was some support there. So we just parked his car right there. He was driving it through the whole thing about trying to be a rapper, then trying to be a pimp, and then he landed on the FBA political thing, and he's been there ever since. So really, it's all about money. It's not really about nothing. And then others who follow him want to just kind of carry that torch, not even really knowing why they're doing it. It's because they support him financially.
Yeah. And I don't know how you feel about this guy, but you know who had that exact same kind of trajectory? Malcolm X. He was a
Um,
he was a pimp when he first started. He was in that same type of atmosphere, like black culture, pimping, rap. I don't know if he was rapping, but he was in that. Then he went to jail. Then he found the Nation of Islam or whatever, and then he started to do the black, politically conscious type of thing. And it's like people, because Malcolm X now he's just the hero, like he's just the guy that's he's revered. They don't really look at it. Okay, so here were his stances. Here was what he stood for. Here was what his ideology is. And I've been kind of looking back at him and looking through some of his stuff, and it's like, yeah, I don't agree with a lot of things he's saying. Now that I'm seeing his like actual quotes and his ideologies, and it's like some of them I don't agree with most of them honestly, but it reminded me of Tariq Nasheed kind of because not that they have the same exact ideology, but like they both kind of had this similar trajectories.
yeah, I definitely can see that. And about Malcolm, he was also gay for play. Did you know that?
You said gay for play?
Yeah.
Where was this at? I never seen this.
Well, it was in his book. It was in his book. So what happened was he would
Oh man, I knew
yeah.
it.
So he would have sex with like I guess he would say like a transvestite, like that kind of like a transgender. He would do that for money.
Mm,
And toward the end of his career, he had sex with a white businessman who funded him financially because once he was no longer in the nation, it's like, okay, now that money is not there. So what do I
yeah,
do? I got kids to feed or whatever. And they asked his children about it one time, about his life and what he was doing. They were like, well, we're not going to just besmirch his name. He still was Malcolm X. It's like, okay, I guess that's fine. Same thing Malcolm with Martin Luther King. Or Martin Luther King would be on the road. He'd be out there with them with the Beckys, right? With the white women. Okay.
yeah, he got down.
Yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, you got your wife and kids at home. So when I hear from people talking about this morality stuff, I'm like, man, come on. Like, especially now with politics, the things people do, the
Hmm.
things that they do in politics now is disgusting. So nobody can really tell me anything about morality from that world because there's a
Yeah,
lot of them are involved in some really crazy stuff.
yeah, and I agree with that when you're talking, bring it back to politics, because like when people talk about Trump, and then they're just like, well. he cheated on his wife and he got a prostitute and he got he had sex with his porn star or whatever. And it's just like, okay, so how naive are you? Like, have you been in the political sphere? Like, do you see the people that we're dealing with? What angel do you want to like go and pick that you're gonna find? Like, that's probably the least of the like treachery that's actually in politics. Like, that's the least of the stuff, and they will use that, and they'll be like, oh yeah, this is why we shouldn't support him, and it's just like people don't really understand the political game. It's not even, they think that they're in it. Like, you're not in it. They put this message out for you to get mad about so they can like get you to vote one way or another. You know, they're just trying to put this news out to get you to think a certain way. It's like you're not even coming up with these ideas naturally on your own. And because that's why you have a debate with these people, or like you just ask them a simple question, and it's like, yeah, don't you know this person believes the same thing, or this person does the same thing? It's like you're so mad about this, yet here and then you're gonna support like Muslims or something like leftists. They'll be like, I hate the how Christians are doing this patriarchy stuff, and they're misogynistic, and they're all this, and then they're like, yeah, but free Palestine. And it's like, wait, what? Do you know what they do in Palestine? Like, and it doesn't even make any sense. It's just like, yeah, you guys, I don't even know where to start with you guys, man.
It's so much of that going on, so much hypocrisy, and a lot of people just don't know anything, or they'll pretend to be ignorant. They'll know something, and then they'll act like they don't know something. Like they'll say something to the general public, but when I hear them say it, I'm like, come on, you know better than to say something like that. You know that argument is not even really a real thing. Like that
Yeah.
one dude, Joe Kent, who was in the government, he had some kind of random job. His wife was
Mhm.
killed by ISIS, I think, in Syria or something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you know the story. So when he gets fired, kicking and screaming, he talking about the Jews and Israel. It's like, bro, like they know that's not really a real argument to make because the Israelis and the USA work together when they come to intelligence. So if you try
Mhm.
to say the Jews did something to me, it's like, bro, you're talking about the US government because that's really what it is at the end of the day. That's
Right.
like the Jews are the USA over there. That's why
Yeah.
they get all this money and stuff like that. They pretty much work with us. So then when
Yeah.
they say the Jews this and the Jews that, it's just not really a real thing. Now, I'm gonna ask you about that. I don't know what your take is on that. How you feel
Hmm.
about this thing about, APAC and the Jews? What's your take on it? Because I don't know what your take is yet.
Yeah. So that's interesting. You said the Joe Kent thing. So, because I do think that there is Jewish influence in our government that is problematic. However, you're right. It is our government as well. So it isn't like a split as people think it is, because we work together with Israel. So it's like, well, it's the Jews, but then it's like, well, Trump is on in the same kind of line with them. But here's my thing with Joe Kent. It's not that he was really wrong or lying. It's just that it's very convenient his timing. He decided to say all this stuff. Like, you were in the government this whole time. You were doing this the whole time. He worked for the Department of Intelligence. You just now figured out that the Jews are doing this. Like, now you want to go on Tucker Carlson and say all this stuff. And then what really made me mad about what he said, I don't disagree with him too much. I just don't think he's like really genuine. But he wanted to go on Tucker Carlson and say, there's a lot about Charlie Kirk you guys don't know, like the Charlie Kirk death or whatever. It's not what it seems. It's like, so what happened? Like, then what happened? Like, are you gonna tell us like what you don't even work in the government anymore? You could really let us know. So it's like, I don't know, maybe he's planning on, people are saying he's planning on running for office or something like that. So I think he's kind of just propelling this into running. But with the APEC stuff, I mean, I think that they are like any other lobby. I just think that they have the most power because they're putting in the most money. Sheldon Adelson, Miriam Adelson, they gave Trump like over $200 million. And this is the thing about Trump, because I like Trump, but Trump, and this was the good and the bad thing about him. He's not a politician. So he didn't really have a political ideology. He's a businessman. And that was the sell. It's like, listen, I'm not gonna be like, I'm not these people. These people are the swamp. We're gonna drain the swamp. These people are the problem. They don't get anything done. And like I'll be different. I'm a businessman. And it's like that was the good thing, but then he got bought. And that's the thing. He got bought, and the people that bought him out, APAC, it's like they are moving in their own interest. And I don't agree with their interest. I don't agree with their agenda. So that's where my problem really is right there. But yeah, I feel like they do have an influence on the government for sure.
Okay, so as far as their influence, like, how do you think, like, give me like one good example of how you think APAC influences the government in a negative way?
So first example is the Iran war. So Netanyahu, he'll come to the White House, what, 7, 8 times for Trump's administration. And of course, they have their own, what's it called? They have their own interest. Everybody has interests, by the way. This is kind of how politics works. I mean, even Christians have a lobby, pro-life has a lobby. Everybody's trying to kind of get their agenda pushed. But Netanyahu come to the White House 7 times or whatever, and he's of course trying to get Trump to be more aggressive in the Middle East. Hey, we got to do this. We got to do this. He's trying to get Trump to be more aggressive and do that. And Trump, even, he went to the Jewish committee. He gave the speech. He's telling us like what's exactly going on. I don't know if he's doing this unironically or I don't know, but he's giving the speech. He's saying, Miriam Adelson was in my office every day. She was telling me, "Hey, we gotta do this." She's the #1 supporter of Israel, and she's telling me this, and it's like, yeah, that's cool, but like that's not us. That's not really what we wanted or what we voted for. Like he's Trump is making stuff happen, but it's like he's not. I don't feel like he's making stuff happen for us, and I think that's where one thing that APAC actually came in negatively. Um, to answer your question, it's like they're over here having a committee, having a parade, and it's like, yo, what about us? You told us no new wars. We're gonna get at the Middle East. That's what he ran on. Like he went up on TV and told Jeb Bush, "Your brother got us into Iraq. We should have never been in there. There was no weapons of mass destruction." At that time, now that's like a normal like talking point. That's not even that flamboyant, but like at that time it was like, yo, this is like he said that on TV, like that usually didn't wasn't said. Now it's just like I feel like he's not catering to that base anymore. I feel like he got bought out.
Okay, now how about Iran? Like, okay, here's a question I got. So, what if the war is over with by the end of the summer? Would you be like, okay, we kind of back on the right track, or would it? Because with me, here's my take on it.
Hmm.
I'm against the war if it becomes a forever war, like Iraq, Afghanistan, or whatever. If you're
Yeah.
able to get in there and be out in a relatively short period of time before the end of the summer, before it start to get, to the fall season, if you can wrap it up by then, I kind of will give it a pass. But if it becomes something that lasts for years, now we got a problem. So what's your take on that? Is it like a matter of time length? Because there's been other things. We might go we might go to a part of the world and do a strike and be done in a day. Might take a
Yeah.
week. But what if we got 6 months rather than
Yeah.
25 years? How would you feel about that?
Well, I mean, of course, that would be better. And I'm not like a libertarian. I'm not saying we shouldn't be anywhere. We
Yeah.
shouldn't, because I think Venezuela was actually good. Like, they're right by us, they're in our hemisphere. What are they doing with all, like, they don't know how to, they don't know what they're doing with all this oil. Like, They don't. We should have control in our hemisphere, and especially, I think we should go into Cuba actually,
Yeah.
because they're working with Russia, with China. If we're gonna get into something with them in the future, like, do we want somebody right here that's like right next to us that's working with? So I actually do think we need to intervene. However, let me ask you this: what are we doing in Iran though? What is the goal?
Well, the goal is to eliminate the regime and to have that waterway open because you got other oil rich nations right there that are having issues with the Iranians. Everybody hates the regime. The Iranians hate the regime. The
Wait,
Iranians
did you
themselves
say
hate
the Strait of Hormuz?
the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah.
Well, it's closed because of the conflict. It was open before.
Well, the problem is that the Iranians at any point in time could decide to close it. See, and it was already something that they prepared for, meaning the other oil rich nations. It's a pipeline that
Mhm.
goes across the Arabian Peninsula to the Suez Canal because they already know if that strait gets closed, which it is inevitably going to be closed because the Iranians are still right there, but their
Mhm.
radical, regime they had to
Mhm.
make another choice anyway. It didn't matter if Trump did that. Trump doing that just kind of accelerated it to that particular point. So what you want to do is stop that from being a thing by eliminating the regime. So the other oil rich nations are able to use this strait and continue to fuel the world. Because right there you got Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, all of that is right there. And the Iranians are hitting all those places. They hit in Dubai. They didn't hit Dubai more than Israel. Some
Yeah.
people talking about, this is it's a, they hate Muslims. Nah, it's not about Muslims. It's about the Iranian regime because they're also striking the other Muslim nations.
Hmm. Okay, so what are you saying though? So you're saying that we're in this for because you started off with the straight, it like it's a economy thing, but now you're saying that it's just because they're radical. So you're saying the regime needs to be out because they're a danger to the Middle East.
Well, it's the same thing because the strait is going to be the key to the Middle East. If you
Hmm.
are controlling the strait, then you're stopping other nations from being able to develop. Like you're stopping your Pakistan, you're stopping these nations that's right there from developing because you're choking off the economic output. That's the key.
Right, but we're starting in the middle though because the strait was always open. The only reason they closed, my bad. The only reason they closed the strait was like strategical purposes because they're trying to negotiate with us and we can't get a deal done. So the strait is the only thing they have is leverage. That's why it's closed. But because Iran played ball with us this whole time. They've been there trying to make peace. I mean, they went to the what's it called? I forgot where it was. They tried to make a peace deal. The guy got bombed by Israel. Israel blew up the thing, killed the guy when he was trying to make peace. So it's like there's that, and then we had a nuclear deal with Iran. They were respecting that deal. They were doing the checks. They were like cooperating with us. There was no like foul play. You know, we were working together. Of course, Iran does produce a lot of oil, and I do agree with you that um we have to the regime in Iran has to be cooperative with us. Like we have to have a certain amount of control over them because they are a big player in the Middle East, number one. Now, they're the hegemony right now, and they do control a majority of the world's oil. So I like I said, I'm not a non-interventionist. I just don't think that number one, we have a clear plan. Number two, the people that are conducting this operation is like listening to the people or going at it to the pace that we want. I feel like it's just somebody like Trump said he just went at the whole conservative base. He said Alex Jones is crazy, Tucker Carlson's crazy, Candace Owens crazy, Megyn Kelly's crazy, everybody's crazy. And then he said the real MAGA is like Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, like I don't. Who are these guys? How they were never MAGA, never Trump. Now they're the real MAGA. So it's like I feel he just switched up. Not that you know what I'm saying. That's where my kind of grievance is coming from.
Okay, so I'm gonna add one more piece to it because straight her moves is one thing that they want to be able to get under control, but that nuke, they can say that they were abiding by certain rules, but they were not because when they went over there recently, they found some other shit in the bin there. I was like, okay, well, what's this? You say you're not producing the nuke, but what's this? We found this enriched uranium that shouldn't have been there. Okay, you signed the deal, but I can't tell because you're still producing the nuke. And what they were going to do, aside from closing the strait and impacting all those Muslim nations or producing nations, which will impact the whole world because you got gas, oil, all of that short all over the whole world right now. They were going to do that. And that nuke, what are they going to do with that? Straight to the J's. Now, if you do that, if you push that button, it's over. It's all over because you're going to kill the financial system and all the oil. We will
Yeah.
be stone age, bro. We will be stone age in the whole world overnight. And some are going to say, well, you're just trying to protect the Jews. Speaking about some that will talk about me, it's like, you don't even really understand. This is about the whole world. You're
Right.
talking about all the financial system and all the oil, all the energy, everything gone. We live in a very fragile world where if you don't have trucks running for 3 days, you starve. You wouldn't have any food. You would have nothing in your actual cities and towns anywhere in the world,
Hmm.
unless you're in a place like Iran, or maybe if you're in China potentially. But even China would suffer because they are dependent upon places like Brazil for their food and parts of Africa and whatnot for their food. So what if they can't get there? What if there's not enough fuel? See, the whole world will be damaged by this. And then if a nuke comes out and they hit the J's, see, now we got to fight them back. You're talking about a thing called mutually assured destruction. The world will be over. That's an apocalyptic event. So who wants
Yeah,
that?
but
So ultimately, what had to happen is we had to go ahead and do that now and get it out the way. Because if we don't, it's just ticking time bomb. It's just a matter of okay, suffer a little bit right now with these high gas prices,
yeah.
or face nuclear winter in a year.
Well, this is a thing though. I don't believe that Iran is that insane. Like, what are they going to do? So, because they're going to nuke Israel and then it's over. Because they know if they nuke Israel, we are what they finally got a nuke. How many nukes do we have? We have like over 500 nuclear warheads. It's over. That's just that they just signed their death warrant. I don't think they're that dumb. Because for them to be the hegemony in the Middle East, they've had to have a certain amount of intelligence and like political acumen. They're not that. I don't think they're that stupid. I mean, if we're trying to stop everybody from getting a nuke, like North Korea got a nuke. If anybody's gonna start nuking people, North Korea got a nuke, and Kim Jong Un is very against Israel. Like, are we going to be like, hey, we got to nuke them first, or we got to do a regime change over there before they nuke the Jays? It's like, I don't know that like, I just don't believe that Iran is trying because, and then you said they had, what's it called? Enriched uranium. They were allowed to have enriched uranium to a certain point. That was what the JCPOA said. They just couldn't enrich it to weapons grade, which they never did. But the thing is, they're what they're doing is like they're nuclear hedging. They're kind of doing what Japan is doing. They don't have a nuke right now. Germany's doing it too. They don't have a nuke right now, but they want to be able to have a nuke and make a nuke if they need to. Like they want to be able to be right on that edge to where if something happens, they could have a nuke because them and Israel have been beefing for forever, and Israel has a nuke, and Israel is like we've already seen them. Like I said, they bombed them when they tried to make peace. They've killed their leader and whatnot. Well, I guess we did. But, they've been kind of bad faith. If we're going to be honest here, they don't trust Israel and they have a nuke. And they're saying the deals that we're trying to do with Iran is like give up all enrichment, like never like pretty much just leave yourself defenseless. And it's like we're not even accepting any compromise or anything. So it's kind of like, hey, we're here to fucking take over. That's really what it is. Like we're here to take over. And like I said, I'm not even inherently against that. I'm not even inherently against I don't like the Iranian regime. You know what I'm saying? I don't even agree with Islam in that case. But it's just like my thing is I feel like Israel. I feel like we're doing this for Israel, number one, because this isn't even our hemisphere, and you're kind of what you're doing is you're kind of putting us in Israel as one. And I get we kind of are, but it's like we don't have to be, and that's kind of where my thing stems from. It's like we're over here, we have all our troops over here, we're in all these issues, and we're spending a lot of money on this, like billions of dollars already. And it's like, we don't actually have to be in this. We don't actually like, this isn't, you know what I'm saying? This isn't, and we have presidents like Nixon, all these people coming out saying, hey, there's a lot of Jewish influence in our politics and they're getting us to do a lot of things. A lot of politicians are coming out about this. And it's like, yeah, I get that. I get that. And I feel like there's things that we're doing that we could see, okay, this isn't lined up with American doctrine. This isn't like what lines up with that. So I just think there's a couple things that we could fix that has nothing to do with us.
So when you say that you don't think the Iranians would be that stupid, well, they did kill how many of their own people? Like 40,000 of their own people. Do you believe that number?
No, I don't believe that. I mean, there's no picture. 40,000, that's a lot of people. There's no
Oh,
pictures. There's no videos.
so what do you think the number is? Because there is a number,
Well, I think there is a number, but 40,000 is crazy. Like,
but
come on.
like if it's not 40,000, what do you think it is?
Honestly, I don't know, but
20,000?
we said
My point,
20.
my point is this. It's like,
But no, but it's disingenuous because we already stated that we armed people. We sent guns in there. There is Mossad agents over there, and they're talking about the people that were going against the regime were like dressed in all black, like have all these machine guns. It's like these are a lot of operatives that we're sending over there to kind of stage a coup. We've done this
nah,
before, by the way. We have done this before.
I understand what you're saying, but do you know any Iranians over there?
Nah.
So I know people over there, and what they're telling me is the regime, they're going door to door, knocking on doors
Hmm.
to see if you might be aligned with the West, if you like what Trump is doing. And people are getting executed just back of the head, just shooting them. Just
Hmm.
like these are not good people. The Iranians hate them. And they only been there since the 70s, meaning the regime since the 70s. Before that, it was kind of like like Europe, US, it was kind of like that.
We put
They,
that regime in there, though.
huh?
We put the regime in there.
Well, I mean, it doesn't even really matter. I mean, you can be correct on that, and that's okay. But the reality is that they're there and they are harming the people.
I
So it's
agree.
like, what do you do?
Like I
And not
said,
only
I'm
what,
not. I'm not with the regime. I don't even I don't even like. If you said that's what they're doing door to door, I believe it. Like I said, Islam is horrible. So I wouldn't. But it's just like, okay, if we're gonna do this thing, like how many? There's a lot more countries that we would have to go and do this to. Like, you know what
nah,
I'm
this
saying?
this Iran because you said something about North Korea. That's not a problem because they are controlled by China. That's basically China. The only reason why that country exists is because it's a buffer in between the U.S. controlled South Korea
Hmm.
and China. That's North Korea. Without China, there we know North Korea. So they're not going to have any nukes or nothing like that because that's going to be blowback on China, and they don't want that. China will never let that happen. So that's going to not be an issue. They could talk all they want, but that's not going to actually be an issue. There's no other dangerous country that's not in check by anybody other than the Iranian regime.
Well, I mean, Iranian regime, they work with China, they work with Russia. That's the thing. I don't think like they're these barbarian, like out of control people. Like, I don't think they are if you want to say they're radical, yeah, you know, are they terrorists? Sure, but I think I think Israel is making it seem like they cannot cooperate and they cannot be diplomatic to kind of get us to just like do a regime change. Because I mean, Netanyahu's been saying they're a year away from getting the nuke. They're 2 years away from getting the nuke. They're a week away from getting the nuke. He's been saying that since like '96. It's like, all right,
But be fair though. I mean, we also said the same thing over here in the USA on both
Right.
sides. Right
well,
when the whole thing, right when Trump did that, you had both sides. It was bipartisan approval. You had people like what was that? Even Chuck Schumer said that it was a good thing. Mitch McConnell, all these people are saying the same thing. It's not like it's just
I mean,
the
Chuck
Israeli.
Schumer, he's you know he's bought out by APEC as well.
Okay, so who was not bought out? Thomas Massie. You like Massie?
Well, he's not bought out. He's a libertarian, so I mean, I don't agree with his him 100%, but he's not bought out. I'll say that. You know, he's not going to support Israel.
So who's a good political person that you like that's not bought out? Aside from Thomas Massie, like give me somebody else.
There's not a lot of people, honestly. Yeah, I mean, there's Thomas Massey, James Fishback is running. I like James
You like
Fishback.
James Fishback for real? You like him?
Yeah, I like Fishback. I like Fishback.
You know his background. You know his little history he had with the minor.
I don't know too much about that, but I mean, if we're talking about what happened to it's the moral thing with the politics. We got to be
No,
charitable.
no, I'm saying it's like okay,
I don't even know what happened though.
if you are running for office and you are grooming minors, see that's where I draw the line. Like we're talking about adults. That's what I said earlier. I was like, if you have two consenting adults, it's all good. It's whatever. I'm not really going to get in the way of that. But see, when you're dealing with minors, because what James Fishback did allegedly, if you watching James, don't sue me, bro. I ain't trying to go to court. But anyway, allegedly, what
Mhm.
happened was he had a program working with students, middle
Mhm.
school and high school students. It was a program. I think it was a debate prep program.
Right.
And one of the people he had working with him was a student who I think might have been 11th grade, 12th grade, something like this. Well, he was much older, like well into his 20s, almost 30 or something like this. And then they became close and he winds up living with her. Now, it dissolves. There's allegations of him abusing her, throwing stuff at her. They go into court. It's public record. It's documented. And at the time when I think he says that they had sex, she had just turned 18, but he was grooming her when she was 16. You see what I'm saying? Now, I
Mhm.
don't know about y'all, but I don't think that I would want a guy like that being my governor, especially since when he's confronted about it, he's being wormy, he's being weaselly, he's not really answering questions. He's like a politician, typical politician that's not trying to answer any questions. And you got this big, you know, these big bones in your closet, skeleton in your closet. I don't like stuff like that. And it's one thing to have allegations against you, like Trump. They said that he did this and he did that, but there's zero evidence. In the case of James Fishback, there's a person that came out. He went to court and he did say that they were living together. He admitted that they were together, but he says that she was 18. But again, he met her when she was 16, when he was at this program for students, of which she was one of them. How you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really bother me too much. I'm gonna be honest. Like as far as kind of politics, it's just like okay, so what are we going back and forth on? Like, well, she's men are at 16 and then she was 18. It's like, okay, I'm Nigerian. Like the age of consent is like 14. It's like
No, 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 no.
you
We,
want
we
me to
compete in the
draw the
USA.
line? You want me to
We are not in anyway, not home anymore. We are in the USA, my friend. But not back there. We are
Yeah,
in the
but
USA.
hey, man, my morality doesn't change like across the border. So it's like I get it, and the my biggest problem with that would be like him being Weasley when you bring it up. That would be something maybe, but I got to look into that, you know. But if you're just saying just at that, it's like I'm looking at the politics. I'm looking at what he's saying. I'm looking at some of the policies he's been talking about, like the syntax,
Oh
like
yeah,
him being
okay,
against
okay.
OnlyFans. I like that. Like that's like me. That's like some shit I would do. It's like okay, man, this is what I like to see. But you know, I don't know about his full. I know I think he's Jewish. I know that. and I think he worked with Barry Weiss. So, but he's talked about that a little bit. But like I said, a lot of those policies he was talking about, I really do like those.
Okay, the syntax. Okay, I'm gonna ask you about that. So, for those who don't know, James Fishback, running for governor of Florida, he wants to impose a syntax on OnlyFans creators, if I'm not mistaken, 50% of their revenue. He wants to be able to tax that. So, what's your take on that?
Yeah, so I like it because I think it's going to deter women from going into that profession. Because number one, it's already hard to make money on OnlyFans. This is what girls don't know. They think they're gonna get on there, they're gonna be a millionaire, they're gonna be the next Sophie Rain, 20K a month, 30K a month. For a lot of women, they don't make any money. And they just end up like ruining their image and not being able to get a job. And it's like, oh man, what did I do? So if on top of that, it's like, listen, you like this is the average that you're gonna make, and we drop it to like this low bar, like it's gonna be this hard, then I mean the ROI, like the risk reward is not gonna be worth it. And it can deter women. But I mean if it gets like 100 women not to do it. I mean, I'm for it anyway. If it got 2 women not to do it, I'm for it. Honestly, if he just passed a law that was like, we're just gonna make OnlyFans girls like wear a clown mask, I'd do that. Like, throw anything we can at them. I just don't like that degeneracy in general. Like, 10% of women in the Gen Z are on OnlyFans. That's like an insane number. Like 10% of women in my generation or online prostitutes. It's like, bro, whatever we could get, like, throw something at them. Like, I just like that he's speaking on it.
Okay, but see, here's the thing about Fishback. Like Florida, you been in Florida before? Miami, all of that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you already know what it is. Like, okay, if I go to
It's
Miami,
OF Central, yeah.
it's everything all around. So it's like, okay, you want to put a syntax on OnlyFans, but I can go to Miami and there's strip clubs,
Oh,
there's girls just outside walking, there's the club industry in general, there's dating industry in general, there's dating
wait,
app.
you live in Atlanta, right? That's why you're defending this. You be going to what's it called? Magic City. I know this gonna hit a nerve for you. You
I'm not really a strip club guy myself. I've been to a strip club, but that's not really
Okay.
my cup of tea. You know what I mean? I like the one-on-one connection with a woman. Like I've been to the club. You got a club called Cheetah. That's like the one that's like a cool. If you go to Magic City, that's like if you're a tourist or you're just trying to be in there
It's
having some real ghetto activities. But Cheetah is like
it's like a
it's a nice
lounge
spot.
type.
Yeah, kind of. You can get some really good food in there. Like
Mm-hmm.
last time I was there, it's people just eating steak. It's really nice. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, I prefer something like that. But I'm not really a strip club guy. But my thing is the element that law is trying to dissuade is everywhere. It's become mainstream. It's like you got these websites where you can literally engage in luxury dating, elevated dating that's straight up just available. It's a you could go on your phone seeking arrangements, and it's right there. It's not even something that they hide. They don't have to. There's no laws being broken, so it's like doing something like that is just a gesture. It's like here, take this, but you're not making the dent really in anything. And also, these girls, all they're gonna do is just move, or they're gonna just fly to somewhere else to do their content and then come back. Like you're not really gonna do anything. I mean, it's nice to some people that feel like something should be done,
Yeah.
but you're not. And first of all, you're not gonna undo. You're not gonna eliminate the oldest profession. It's always going to be there. Whenever you try to
Yeah.
put up a barrier, it's going to be a way around it. It's like trying to put a piece of plastic in front of a river. Okay, that plastic, the little piece that's right there, will block some of the water, I suppose, but you still get this whole mountain of water coming around it. That's the equivalent of your syntax on OnlyFans, in my humble opinion.
No, yeah, and like I said, I mean, if it got 2 girls to not do it, I'd still do it. Like I said, I mean, if he's like, hey, we're gonna pass this law where on every second Thursday we get to throw tomatoes at them, man, I'll do that. Like I'm just down for anything. I don't like this wave itself. Like I'm against the whole wave itself. So, but I do understand what you're saying. Like, I don't think it's gonna actually. I don't think it's gonna like ban.
It won't do anything.
I won't say anything, but Cause it's more of a culture thing too. Cause it's kind of like we've been so accepting of this. Now, if we have more people like, hey, this is a problem. We don't like this. Like, and guys are coming out speaking like, yeah, I would never take an OnlyFans girl serious, or like, they kind of see that more and more because really politics and culture, like it's just that type of influence game. We're just trying to battle for influence here. So really, I'm just kind of trying to push that in. I mean, that's why I'm on the internet. I'm here like trying to push that influence the same as kind of everybody else is. So I mean, it could do nothing as far as what actually like pragmatically women not doing it, but like just the energy that it brings. It's like, okay. And then like, okay, so if I'm against OnlyFans and I'm against prostitution and all that, who would I vote for? Who's gonna do something for me? This guy that's saying this, or the other people that don't even care about it, like Byron Donalds? He hasn't been really saying much about that. You want to talk about past? Byron Donalds passed. I mean, what he was doing the same thing as what's his name? Tariq Nasheed. They was both in the streets. So
What
it's
what
like
what, what did Byron do?
he went to jail for selling, I think selling drugs or um selling drugs. I think he was in a gang or something. What's it called? He was, I think he was gang banging. I think that's what it was.
Gang banging.
I think
Not
so.
Byron.
Oh yeah, bro. He said that. Have you seen his Breakfast Club interview?
I did not see that.
You should watch that, bro. It's funny because they trying to grill him because he's a Trump supporter. So they're like, "Oh, you changed up on us. You changed up. What happened to this?" They try to grill him, but
Oh,
nah,
okay.
man.
So you said that he had some weed when he was 18.
Oh, that's what he's
Um,
saying.
yeah, pay $150. It was a fine for $150 he paid, and then he was 21. He
Hmm.
got arrested for felony theft in connection to a bank fraud incident. Pleaded no contest, completed a year probation, and the charge later expunged from his record. That
Yeah.
ain't nothing. That ain't really. That's not. I wouldn't consider that to be gang banging. You say I'm like, I don't think he out there
Okay,
like
that's not
defending
gang
him.
banging. That's not
Huh?
gang banging, but that's like criminal activity, though.
I mean, that ain't really nothing though. I mean, that's like
That ain't nothing. Okay, bro.
because like he didn't even go to jail. He didn't go to jail. Like you said gang banging in jail, but he didn't do any of those. It was just like he had some weed and then he had like probably a bad check. That's not nothing that's really serious. Like something that's serious is when you're grooming the minor who's working with your school program, James Fishback. I see that as more serious than
Nah.
having a bag of weed. Hold on. Okay. So look, you are a teacher. You are a teacher and you groom one of your students. That's not as bad as having a bag of weed and a bad check.
I mean, you said they live together. She likes him. He likes her. Like they got their thing going on. I mean, maybe it's not conventional, but I don't know. That's just people. That's just about like some people wouldn't have any problem with that. Some people they don't like it, but like Byron,
A bag of
I
weed,
just
bro. Come on.
I just don't like him. I just
Okay, I
don't
mean,
like
I get it. I understand. You don't like Byron. I get it. You like James Fishback. I'm with it.
him. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
but nah,
Fishback.
yeah, nah, it's all good though. But yeah, man, I don't got too much else, man. You got anything else you want to add? Any questions, comments, concerns?
Man, man, let's see. Well, I feel like we covered a lot.
We probably covered a
So,
lot, yeah.
do you do Instagram live like every week? Because I see you on here a lot. You try to do this every week or what?
Yeah, I'm here every Tuesday with Instagram, and then I do live on my YouTube Wednesday and Saturday. My YouTube live is different. It's not like this. On my YouTube I do like a lot of I do like a monologue for a while, then I show videos and I take calls, like actual phone calls. So
Mhm.
this is, a more of a personal format. So I appreciate doing this every Tuesday.
No, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. But I definitely wanna I'm gonna DM you like after on some business stuff. I do want to talk to you about something like that too. But nah, bro, I mean that's all I got for right now, bro. I appreciate you Thanks for getting me on quick, man. That's what's up.
Appreciate you, man. Hey, you did great. You could speak well. This is a good conversation, and they enjoyed it, man. So I'm glad you came on.
Absolutely, bro. We got to do it again, man.
Well, absolutely, for sure.
All right, bro. Appreciate it. I'll see you.
All right, now, peace. All right. Shout out to my man. Hey, that was a great show. Andrew, Andrew, I'm gonna tag you, bro. After this is finished, after I conclude this, I'm gonna tag you so people can follow you. Okay. Let me make sure I got my man name right. Andrew Fidelis. Okay. Let me see if I can pull his profile up right here. Okay, that's what you want to follow right there. Andrew Fidelis one. Follow him. You know, his channel is gonna blow up. We be getting him early when he's like at 45,000. Young dude, you're gonna keep blowing up. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. I spoke on the Kentucky primary a little bit earlier, Evan. I think that's your name. So you good? No, don't do that to on CT, conservative girl. But if you guys want to follow him, go ahead. It's all good. You guys are funny. You guys are the best comment section anywhere on the internet. But the Kentucky primary, I'm glad Thomas Massie lost. I'm glad he was in the way. He really was. But I've been known for about a couple of hours, so I gotta go. I gotta go now. Um, hold on. I'm gonna try to bring you on, Evan, and then I gotta go, okay? Because it's past my bedtime. So let's try to bring Evan on, and then we'll have to go ahead and roll up out of here. His name was Andrew Fidelis. All righty, man. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
I heard you will.
All right. Oh, sorry, my phone just fell. How's it going? How's your night?
All right, man. Everything's going, man. Everything's going great. Can't complain about yourself.
I just want to say, like, I agree with you on like 99% of issues. It's just this one thing about the Massey primary. I'm not 100% aligned with you. Like, I listened to you throughout 2020 and the whole drama that went on with the whole like stop the steal election and all that. But I'm really saddened that Massey lost.
Okay, so why are you sad that Massey lost? Like, give me your take on him.
Okay, so for the last almost 10 years, us MAGA Republicans, or whatever you want to call our coalition, had been pushing for the release of the Epstein files. And going into the 2024 election, one of the biggest things we said was end or stop endless wars and no new wars. And Thomas Massie was one of the biggest opponents of endless wars and one of the supporters of releasing the Epstein files.
Okay. Now, he was not able to really get that done, or was he able to get it done? Like we have some Epstein files out there. We have
Okay.
some stuff. So was he able to accomplish his goal?
Not at 100%, but also the Trump administration kind of went around the legislation that Massie and Ro Khanna uh, helped pass.
Okay. So do you think that if he was still in Congress, he'd be able to push past the resistance that he was getting?
I think I saw what Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie has done in the last year and the progress they've made on releasing what we've had of the Epstein files or what we got of the Epstein files. It was a lot more than what we got prior. And I think if they had a little more time, then yeah, we would have seen a lot more.
So I mean, to people that are really like interested and invested in the Epstein files, I always ask, is like, what do you think is going to be found? What will be unearthed that we don't know right now?
How would we even know if the Epstein files aren't fully redacted and we don't have them all in front of us? I just want the people who were committing these disgraceful acts to have the full extent of the law dropped on them.
So do you think there's anybody that has not been held accountable? Because, you know, if we get the files fully redacted, we can see certain things that we can't see right now. Do you think there's like a lot of people who are just being protected that we don't know because we can't see the unredacted files?
I do think so. And I also think there are people that have been found in the Epstein files that are being protected right now. I mean, even Ghislaine Maxwell, the only co-conspirator that has been prosecuted, is getting this nice little like plea deal. She's basically in a country club jail, And we can take into the fact that Howard Lutnick, who has lied about not being friends with Epstein, not seeing him multiple times, and has been proven he has been friends with Epstein, has met with him multiple times, has brought his friends and family onto the island. He's still in the Trump administration.
Well, did he do anything with children? Because, it's one thing to be linked to Jeffrey Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
It's something else to be involved in the criminal activity. And that's part of the reason why a lot of the Epstein files are redacted, is because you get people in there that didn't do anything wrong. Like legitimately, like Chris Tucker was on the plane for a trip to Africa for some humanitarian thing. So
Yeah.
it's like, but his name was linked to Epstein now. But I don't think it's fair to have everybody linked to Epstein be accused of some wrongdoing. You
I
see what
also
I'm
don't
saying?
think it's fair to have an inadequate investigation. I mean, we found that, I forgot his name, but the Victoria's Secret guy, maybe you can remember who he is. He was named as a co-conspirator in the Epstein files. Massie and Rokahana unearthed this, shared it in front of the Congress, and he has been questioned, and he was named as a co-conspirator, and he has not been charged.
Hmm. Well, I don't know about that one. I'd look into it. I just don't think that they were going to get anything done with these Epstein files. I mean, I think whatever is out there is whatever is out there, and I think that if anybody was to be guilty of some wrongdoing, they would have already been prosecuted and locked up. That's just my humble opinion. Like from the beginning, I did not have much faith in the Epstein file situation, and I don't think that it is a matter of Trump trying to protect people. I think that if anybody is protected, that they were already protected. In my humble opinion, that's just what I see.
Okay, so Marjorie Taylor Greene got a call from Donald Trump when she started pushing for the release of the Epstein files. And according to Marjorie Taylor Greene, she could totally be a liar. That's up to interpretation. She said that Donald Trump asked her to chill it out, cool down on the Epstein files because he had a lot of friends that would get hurt if these files were to come out. So I am from the state of Georgia. I was a big supporter of Marjorie Taylor Greene, still am. I actually went to the Million MAGA March. I think you were there as well in 2020, and I saw her spoke, and I was very infatuated by her message. So I personally don't believe she's a liar.
Well, when she says that Trump wanted her to chill because people were going to get hurt, that's back to what
His
I was saying
friends,
earlier.
specifically.
You said what now? His
His
friends?
friends, yeah.
It's back to what I was saying earlier. It's about just because you're in the Epstein files doesn't mean you did anything. Just being named can ruin you. And you might just have been there innocently. Maybe you weren't there innocently,
Mhm.
but just by your name being mentioned could damage you. And I think that's what he was referring to. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Okay.
But
Yeah, we can totally agree to disagree with that, but do you believe there was an adequate investigation done on the people who have done wrongdoings on the island? Do you really believe it was only Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell?
Well, I don't know who it was, but I think that there's not going to be anything new found. I never had any confidence that they would find anything new because this has been an old thing. He's been dead for a long time. He was locked up the first time in 2008. It's been almost 20 years since people knew what he did. So I don't think now in 26 we're going to find something new that wasn't on the 28.
So we can
I mean, it's
agree
2008.
that maybe the Justice Department won't do anything. Maybe there won't be any charges brought upon these terrible people, but maybe the administration that ran on transparency would actually, get that done. Like be transparent with the public. This is what we have. It's for your eyes to see, kind of thing. And the only people who have really pushed that was Thomas Massie and Rokahana. And Thomas Massie just lost his primary, and Rokahana, it's not looking good for him right now.
But aside from the Epstein thing, I understand that's a passionate
Yeah.
point that you have. I totally get it. But aside from that, what has Thomas Massey contributed to Congress?
So that's a really big one, but we can sidestep that. He's also against the Iran war. He's also against funding to Israel. And he is also one of the few politicians in Congress who do not receive any money from APAC.
Okay, I get that, but how is that a contribution to Congress?
What do you mean, how's that a contribution to Congress? I think that taking no money from a foreign lobbying agency should be a kind of a litmus test to show that a representative truly represents the people.
So that, does he get no foreign money, or is it just not from the APAC group because there could be other foreign money.
I'm not so familiar with that, but if it is, then it's from an agency that is registered as a foreign lobbying entity as instead of APAC, and APAC is one of the most powerful lobbying agencies in the country. It's no coincidence that all the APAC congressmen and senators constantly vote on sending more money to Israel.
Well, I was thinking about that earlier about Israel. Israel was like another USA. We're like the USA in the Middle East. So we send them money because they contribute back to us. Just like when this whole war broke out and we said, okay, who's going to be doing this with us? The Israelis, cool, we're going to do it with you. We're right in earshot, we're right in the line of fire of the Iranian regime, but we're going to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we come to NATO, our European little brothers and sisters, when we say, hey, can you give some minesweepers? We don't want to be involved. It's like, okay, how much do we give the Ukrainians to defend themselves against the Russian Federation? But when we ask NATO for some money back on that, they don't got nothing to say. Now we give money to the Israelis and we say, hey, we need you right now for this particular conflict. And Iran, they say, okay, let's do it. So I feel like that's a better investment. If we're going to give 20 billion, 100 billion to Ukraine and they don't do anything for us when we ask them, not even the minesweeper, and we give that same money or less to the Israelis and they do something, I think the money is better spent with them rather than the Ukrainians.
But it's also like it's not we're giving more money to Israel instead of giving money to Ukraine. We're giving money to Israel on top of the money we've already given to Ukraine. I can 100% agree with you about not giving money to Ukraine, but I just don't want to fund any foreign conflict that shouldn't involve us in general and alienate our OPEC allies, our Persian Gulf allies. And I just don't think Israel has been a great ally to the United States of America. But we can have differing opinions on that. Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but it's like, if we're going to spend money, I understand you saying we should just keep the money, we shouldn't spend it abroad, maybe, but I get it. But if we're going to spend money with a nation, I would want there to be a return on investment rather than just giving the money with nothing to show for it. Because with the Ukrainians, what are we going to get back from that? They don't produce anything for us. They don't do nothing. They just take. But
so why not invest that money in the American people instead?
I understand what you're saying. I get your point. But what I'm saying is, if we're going to spend money, your point is we should just invest it into us. I get it. But let's look at this from a different perspective. If we're going to spend money, I'd rather spend it on a country that will invest back into us, that'll be there when we call on them, rather than giving it to a place that does not do that if we're going to do it.
So why do we have to spend the money?
Well, because we're going to get something back. In the case of Ukraine, we're part of NATO, and NATO was formed to help defend Europe against the Russian Federation. That's the whole point. So we felt like it was an obligation to fund Ukraine because of that responsibility. Now, when Trump came back in office, he's like, hey, you guys are not spending that money properly. You're wasting it, and we're not going to continue to give you this money. There was this whole big dust up when Trump came back. Remember that? It was a whole big thing in the Oval Office with Zelensky. So that was like, we're not getting anything from that. But with the Israelis, we get technology, we get intel, and we get them to fight when we ask. That's going to be a return on investment. The Ukrainians don't do that, and nobody in NATO does that. Nobody would give any, like, no equipment. We're saying, hey, can you get a minesweeper for the Strait of Hormuz? We couldn't even get a minesweeper, but the Israelis will go out there and fight. Yeah. It's much different. It's a better return on the investment.
Do you think the Israelis are fighting the war for us, or do you think we're fighting the war for the Israelis?
We are fighting the war for our own reason, and they are as well. They have their own interests. We have our own interests as well. It's not a matter of us fighting for them. It's about us fighting for what we want and them fighting for what they want. We have mutual interests, but it's not about us trying to defend them or them trying to defend us. It's about them looking out for them and us looking out for us.
But inherently, we are defending them. And you said we get in return some intelligence from Israel. Is that the same intelligence that got us involved in the Iraq war?
Well, I don't know about that. Like, you asked me on the spot. I don't know about that. But my point is that we get something back. It's not just a matter of we're just spending money into a hole.
But
your point is
getting back. That's what I don't understand.
We're getting the intel and the technology, weaponry, and we're getting the firepower from them to go help us fight when we request. But when we
that we're paying for?
Well, we're paying for it regardless. Like, if we're paying NATO, it's like, okay, NATO wants us to defend Them from the Russian Federation. So we're giving them money, and what do we get back? Nothing. Same thing with the Israelis. They want our help to defend them, but we get something back. It's not just going to be throwing the money in the hole. Now, I get your point where you're coming from. That might be where we disagree, and I get
Yeah.
it.
And again, we agree on like 99% of things. I'm a conservative,
Yes,
you're a conservative. Like game recognizes game kind of thing. But
yes.
I mean, I just think it's intellectually dishonest for us to be the party of America first and then do things that are blatantly America second.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I get your point, but I just don't really agree with it. I think that I look at the bigger picture here. I look at the safety of our country and safety of the world and the way that the world functions. And the way that the world functions must be upheld in order for us to have our standard of life. If the world is not functioning properly, then we suffer as a people here in this country. Some may not see that way, but I look at just a little bit differently at things. But
Okay.
I understand why those who think differently think the way they think.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I like listening to you. You're not like one of those people that like alienates the other side. You kind of are understanding of both point of views. But what I'm kind of missing out on is you're saying that we get their firepower. Well, we send billions of dollars to their military anyway, so we can just use that extra excess money on our own military. Say we get their intel. I'm not sure what kind of intel we get from them that the CIA doesn't already provide to us, and that intel has been just wrong throughout histories. I can provide you with many examples. And I'm sorry, what was the other thing you said we got out of it?
The firepower, they fight.
Yeah, they fight. I think they only fight in wars that are in their interests. I mean, just
That's
like,
okay.
yeah,
That's okay because it's like if it's in your interest and you fight, but it's also in our interest and we benefit from that. So it's okay. We don't have to just have them do our bidding just because we say so. We want them to do it because it'll help them the same way that this war will help us. That's the way I look at it.
okay. Even though Israel is not officially recognized as an American ally.
I mean, according to who? According to, like that can be a thing. I don't think that really matters. Stuff like that don't really matter.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I had to say. Thank you for talking to me. Um, yeah, I don't know if you remember me, but I popped on a call like 4 years ago and they're in 2021. But yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
think I do remember you. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to the youngster. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you, man, for sure. All right. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you. All right. I think my battery about to die. My battery about to be dead. So let me go ahead and just get on up out of here before my battery hits zero and I can't save this. Shout out to you guys again. I appreciate y'all for joining. I'll be back live again on Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Lou, if you hear Lou Valentino, hit me up on the DM. I can start it again on my other phone. I'm about to die right here. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. If you like what you heard, my whole outro then got messed up because I'm thinking about other stuff. But I'll be back again Tuesday, 9 p.m. I'm live on YouTube tomorrow, Wednesday, 8 p.m. and Saturday, 8 p.m. as well. And I'm here every day putting out pre-recorded content. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.